Science on our side. Flat Earth beats on, it's all pretend. But facts will be done. Get ready for the smackdown. Get ready for the smackdown. They'll lie while the Earth spins around. Watch out for smackdown. They cling to ancient misconceptions. We've got truth in our possession. No room for doubt, no time to waste. It's time to put flat Earth in its place. Here comes the smackdown.
Welcome everybody to Tuesday night on a Monday. I am your host, MC Toon. I hope you're ready for the Smackdown. Today I'm going to be going on to a brand new Discord server. Now, what had happened was, like that, Geo, who runs the Earth Awakening server, apparently got a bit, I don't know, there was some doings that were transpiring on there, and it's kind of, I don't know. I'll leave the speculation and the details about all that to others. But anyway, as a result of that, Omnivore, who's not a flat earther, thought, well, how about I make a Discord server that fills the hole that Geo's Discord server used to fill. So that is what is going on there. That's what he did. So he had messaged me and said, hey, what about coming on sometime? I said, well, fancy you should ask. Today's a great day. I was going to do some other stuff tonight. I didn't have a lot of time to put it together. I sometimes I need to put stuff together. Sometimes I can just, depending on what I'm doing, I would have had to, what I was thinking about, I would have had to go spend a little bit more time on. I just didn't quite have it. So somebody said this funny in the chat here. We got Earthly Skeptic said, overheard this on a Flat Earth Twitter space. One Flurf ISS is so non-aerodynamic that it flies faster than any airplane. Other Flurf, you just proved the existence of space. Let's not make such mistakes. Well, that's the only mistake they can make. It's always going to be that kind of stuff because first law of Flurf is absolute. Tim Davidson says, thank God it's Moon's Day. Wait. No, still works. Anyway, we've what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop over to this Discord server. I have it linked in the description if you're interested. You can pop in yourself. You can join. While I'm in there, I'll just ask that it be kept me and Flatties, and then when I'm out, y'all can jump in. I'll chum the waters for you. So here is the server. It's called OmniTalk. I see Spin says, there will likely be a lot of evidence. Yes, but none of it presented on behalf of Flat Earth. So here we go, jumping in right now.
Well, I mean,
if it's a position that 0.001% of people hold, then it's generally a straw man.
That I would definitely agree with that. Hi, MC Toon.
Hello.
Hey. So we're going to try this in here. We do have the strict debate channel if things become unmanageable, but otherwise, we're going to give it a go in here. So.
All right.
I understand that this will be streamed. You'll be streaming it from your, from your channel.
I am right now, and
Okay.
on my YouTube channel, and I have linked the invite to your server in my description, so people can pop in and join into your Discord server here.
Fantastic. So there are some people here who made noises like they want to discuss or debate.
Okay.
So I don't know what we're going to. I don't know if that's actually going to pan out or not. We're not sure.
Is Coco Flatty? Did Coco just run away?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But I know that Hawk Jungle wanted to ask if he could debate.
Hawk
So
Jungle.
maybe he does.
All right.
Yeah, I am told, but have not confirmed that he's a Facatzoid mod or Flatzoid mod.
Oh.
But I don't know if that's true. He was cagey about it. He wouldn't answer when I asked him.
Yeah, because being proud of that kind of thing would definitely not be something you'd want to do.
So I don't know,
Yeah.
but he might be. I also know that CAD 3.14 from who I know from FED, is very interested in explaining why containers are required for atmospheric pressure, or as he would say, gas pressure.
Interesting.
Don't know if he'll unmute though.
I'd love to hear the backing for that. Yeah. Any those there that he mentioned? Want to chime in?
Yeah. So yeah, but we can open the floor. I am going to try to keep it, reasonably controlled. But if you can do that, then we should be good.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to.
Well, I guess I could just ask you in a quick. Did you come with some sort of thing, some sort of preparation, or did you come to just disprove that horizontal exists, or did you come to ask questions about if you can establish a horizontal or disprove? I mean, what do you got going on? What's your
this horizontal stuff? It's my position that the Earth is a globe, and even more so, it's my position that flat earthers don't have evidence for flat Earth. And so I guess mostly that's going to be what's proven tonight.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the definition of flat Earth, right? Is what's the definition of that? Or have you defined it, or
Have I defined it? Well, flat earthers have been defining that for 175 years. I'll just go with that general position. The general position is for 175 years that the Earth is primarily flat, aside from topography, that it is round with the dome over the top is the most prominent position. And other than a couple stragglers, the proposed map is the Gleason's map, which is actually predated by Rowbottom's map in 1849, somewhere in there. About 175 years, it's been claimed it was a circle with the North Pole in the center and the Antarctic or ice around the perimeter. So that's the position of flat earthers. Now, should somebody be a flat earther and make the assertion that they think the Earth is flat and disagree with that, what I've just described there, the 175 years of established claims, then I'm happy to be corrected on any individual's particular position.
Well, I like some of the positions that you're taking. So a flat earther would claim that in order to contain water, then you would need land, dirt, earth to be at a higher elevation than like you said, a wall around the water. I don't subscribe to a map, but so you're going to disprove that water needs shoreline. So that's step one. You're going to do that, and then step two what's step two again?
No, I didn't say I was going to do that. My position is that flat earthers don't have evidence for flat Earth. And that's going to be proved tonight.
Okay, I say flat Earth definitionally is that large bodies of water at rest require lateral containment. That's flat Earth, so you're going to disprove that?
That's the globe as well. Amazing.
Why does the globe need a shoreline?
Why does it need a shoreline?
Yeah, for water to remain at rest.
Yeah, well, it's to remain at rest. It doesn't remain at rest. It moves. Have you ever been to the ocean? It moves all the time. There's waves constantly.
Yeah, I mean, there's lakes that have shorelines as well. So maybe, maybe it's more specific.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, why does the globe require a shoreline for water?
Well, so that the land can stick up out of it.
So the purpose of water is for land to stick out of it.
That's not his purpose.
I thought you said so that the land can stick up out of it. All right, so you're not going to disprove the flat Earth proof that water requires, containment.
That's not flat Earth proof. That's not flat Earth proof at all. The flat Earth proof would be measurements of the surface of water being flat over long distances. That would be one thing that would be unique to your position, right? Because the globe over long distances would require the surface of water to be curving, and flat Earth would require over long distances the surface of the water to be flat.
Right. So if I bring you to a lake, right, where the shoreline of the lake, right, which is just like sand, is only say it's a 1 mile lake, right, like 1 square mile lake, and I show you, look, the water is being contained by the shoreline, right? So the land needs to be higher. You're going to disprove that and say, no, in the center of the lake, the water is higher than the land.
All
is that what you're going to show us?
All you're doing is establishing that topography exists, which we completely agree on. You and I are in agreement that topography exists.
No, I'm referencing the water. So like in my imaginary world, I need at least even like a centimeter of dirt to be a little bit higher than the water, so that the water remains within the contained system of the lake. You would hold a position that that's not necessary on a globe, or I don't really know why you said it was, but you would take the position that in the center of that lake, it's higher than 1 centimeter, right? Like it doesn't need lateral containment.
I don't know where you're getting at here. It seems like you're avoiding the actual, your actual position. If you think the Earth is flat, then get measurements. You got any?
I measure the shoreline to be higher than the water.
Yes, we've gone in a circle here.
Shoreline higher than.
Yeah, you've identified topography. Whoop-de-doo.
Okay. Now the water, you're saying the water is that's only on a flat Earth, or that's on both? Because I've seen a model where in the center of the lake, I think it was like Jesse something or other. He had a 3 mile lake, and he showed that the water is higher than the land.
No.
Okay.
Jesse did not show that the water is higher than the land.
Okay, so no. So you don't take that position either, then?
The water is not higher than the land.
Yeah, there's no hump of water. There's no hump of water between 2 points.
All right. So let's define terms here. So on the globe, elevation is distance from the center of the sphere of the globe, right? So elevation on the surface of a lake is 0 deviation from that distance. Apart from the geoid. We don't need to discuss those kinds of minor changes. So it's not higher. The surface of the entire lake is the same elevation. It's the same distance from the center of the globe. So then you've got topography. The land is then at a higher elevation than the water. That's what is the perimeter of the lake then.
Okay, so a straight line across the surface of the water will show that the water is never above that.
I didn't say anywhere. I did not say a straight line. No, I said the distance from the center of the sphere or center of the globe is consistent across the surface of the water.
I've never been there. I can only go to like lakes and stuff. So
yeah, I was talking about.
I'll just have to hear your presentation.
Talking about lakes. Yes.
Yeah, I'll have to hear your presentation on this.
Got it.
This topic, I guess.
As I said, flat Earth has no evidence. You've proven that for me. Thank you very much. Anybody else?
How did I prove it to you?
You did not provide evidence for the flat Earth. As I said you would not. You did not provide evidence for flat Earth.
It wouldn't even get to a definition.
Yeah,
right?
you're just playing semantics games. Got it. You don't have evidence, but you know you
like
can
you're
play
doing the same
semantics
thing,
games,
dude.
right?
Evidence of what?
You know you don't have evidence for flat Earth, so you just play semantics games.
What is that?
What is what?
The flat, like I've heard flat earthers, right? And they'll say things like this, like a body of water, right? Will lie level, and it'll require lateral containment, like the shoreline, right? So that it can remain at rest, when at rest level. So the surface will be level. They define that as having no parts higher than another. So now across the surface of a 1 mile lake, you're on board that no part of, if it's a centimeter high, the sand, just higher than the water, you're on board with the idea or the proof that no part of that water is higher than the shoreline. You're on board.
And let me remind you that on a globe, the distance from the center of the globe is equidistant for the entire surface of water.
Never been there. I've never been there. So have you been there?
I don't think he knows what that means, though.
No, yeah, it's probably over his head.
There's no straight lines on a surface of a sphere, right?
Correct, yeah.
Oh, okay. So then that's your globe proof. You're going to prove the non-existence of straight lines. All right, that's your presentation.
No,
right,
no.
I'll listen
My
in.
proof. What I'm here to do is to demonstrate that flat earthers don't have evidence for flat Earth, and you have so far completely validated that point.
Well, listen. You agreed to whoever chimed in and saying you said right when they said there's no straight lines on the surface of a globe. We live on a globe. I put a straight line on the surface of globe. Therefore, no globe. I did it.
We'll show the measurements.
It's a ruler. I threw it on the ground. I literally just
threw a ruler on the ground.
Yep, I threw it on the ground.
You threw.
So, that's it. That's all it took.
A ruler on the ground, and you think that's it?
That there could be no straight lines on the surface of Earth. I threw a straight line on the surface of Earth.
This is groundbreaking.
That was your stipulation. I don't know your
threw a
definition.
ruler on the surface of the Earth, of the ground, and he thinks that's evidence. Oh my gosh. This is new. A new low. A new low, people. Every day, that's what we're doing here.
Natural law.
A new low.
I'm just meeting you at your requirement of evidence. You said right. There can be no straight lines on the surface of Earth. I put one on the surface. Therefore, no globe. That's what you said.
Well, I'm waiting for you to post those measurements because I want to examine the margin. I want to examine the margin of error.
In what? That was your proof. I mean, is there a different proof?
No, you claimed you had measurements. I want to see these measurements. I'm going to have to open up a can of tab just to deal with this. It's going to be amazing. Hold on a second.
Why would you bring up margin of error?
So, Rob, your sound is really bad. So maybe fix it.
Yeah, it's par for the course with headsets. I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to get you kick-started, Toon. I'm just trying to get you kick-started. I know you're going to bring proof, or you said you wanted to see proof of flat Earth. You defined it. You said the things that could not happen in reality were that a straight line could not lie upon the surface of Earth. It happened. I mean, take the L for now, but you have plenty of time to build up and come back and present something to defeat your own.
Yeah, the problem is that you didn't actually provide the measurements and then detail the margin of error your measurement. That's the problem.
That wasn't stipulated earlier. What do you need?
Do we have any evidence of this ruler that you threw to the ground?
Yeah.
Is there a picture?
I don't think you even have a ruler.
argument that's not from absurdity. That would be good.
Yeah, this is just absurd. So thank you. Now, I remember I said earlier that flat earthers do not have evidence for flat Earth, and you have completely validated my prediction. Thank you very much for that. So let's move on. Let's move on to the next person here that has
Hold on, Truth Seeker.
Let's move on to the next flat earther that doesn't have evidence for flat Earth. Is Truth Seeker the next one to line up here?
Well, you're making us prove the flat Earth. We don't have a positive claim. We say it's not a globe. You have to prove the globe.
Wait, so you don't think the Earth is flat?
Well, I do, but I'm not making a claim. I'm making a claim that it's not a globe.
So let me make sure I understand this here. You think the Earth is flat, but you're not making a claim that the Earth is flat.
Yes.
Okay.
My claim is that it's not a ball.
Let me go back to my previous thing that I said was going to be happening tonight. flat earthers, which is you, do not have evidence for flat Earth, and you have proven me right. Thank you very much. Who is the next person to prove me right? Anybody else in line here?
Hog Jungle, did you want to?
Straw man of my claim.
No flat earther has evidence for flat Earth. Thank you for proving me right. I love being right. Anybody else?
I don't know, man. I think you did. I think you did it, McToon. I think you did it.
I agree. Yeah, it was barely an inconvenience.
What do we do? What do we do now?
Well, I suppose what you could do is you could all just kind of say, "Wow, I guess that was a dumb a few years that flat earthers spent. Move on to something else, a little more meaningful." That'd be a good idea. I mean, Jaren has moved on. Nick Havoc has moved on. Rhino has moved on. We got Seek Truth, Speak Truth, and Ranty, and Patricia Steer, and Robbie Davidson, and Paul on the Plane, and Melodome, and man, the list goes on. We've got quite a few. This exodus is going crazy right now.
That's like, dude, that is like a few. Like if you multiplied a few times 4, that would be like 12. Like that would be great. That's insane. Did you name 12 or was it less than 12?
Well, I can give you a longer list if you need. But the thing is, of course, these are the ones that have names, right? You, I don't know what your name is. You're like a sixth string.
Just call me Omnivore.
You're like a 6-string flatty. So you know, I mean, you don't rank up here with these other people. But so you got 710 Extracts, Immoral, Austin Thompson, A Wild Sarn appears, Robbie Davidson, Clear Cognition, Donnie Ann Truth, Douglas Falk, Dylan 1884, E Papa DeFlores, Freedom Paradox, I'm the Jared, as I mentioned, Jose J.G. Gonzalez, love him, Joseph Rugia, Joseph Stewart, Cole Knack Bruise, Landry, Lisbeth Acosta, Maxim Alexander, Mike Check 1-2, Mike Havoc. I'm almost there. Hold on. Patricia Steer, Paul on the Plane, Rachy 50, Ranty, Rose 777, Ryan Heiser, Sean G, Seek Truth, Speak Truth, Shifty Eyes Shady. Is he in the chat? He's off into my chat here. Space Pope, The Obsessed Patriot, and Tiger Dan. Did I miss anybody? Is Rhino, are you on the list? I don't think you're on the list. You should get yourself on the list, Rhino.
Get on the list.
There's the list right there. It's on the Flurf Discord server at flurf.wiki, and you can go on there if you want to add yourself to the list. Anybody, go ahead and.
I mean, if I add myself to the list and then I'm off the list, is that a loss for you? I mean, how does it work? Who's keeping the score?
I want to go to Alaska, Antarctica.
Yeah.
Every flat earther was actually first a globe earther because we were all taught the globe model. So our list is even longer, actually.
That's right.
Don't care. This is
If
just.
you were taught the globe model, you wouldn't strawman it every time you make a claim about it, though.
That's a good point. All right, so
I mean, I was taught the globe. I was taught the same thing, like McToon saying, like elevation is measured from the center of the sphere.
There you
but
go.
in reality, nobody does. Like in reality, we don't do that. You know
well,
what I mean?
I
So
know
that's where it
you
becomes
don't
like
do
an
that
issue.
in reality, but surveyors
Nobody
do that
does.
in reality.
No, I was reading over something earlier today with the friend of yours, and it was like by Cambridge, but these reciprocal zenith angles, and they say it works during the day with lots of refraction, and over long distances where where things get distorted and compressed, and then that's where the globe appears. It shows its beautiful face.
Got it.
Is that where the proof is? Over too long of a distance? That's when you like squint your eyes, like light some candles, get some smoke, and it's like there's the globe.
No,
like
that's not what the way that's how flat earthers do measurements. For the globe, we tend to have precision instruments like a theodolite that's accurate to 1 arcsecond. So let me explain. I'll explain quickly here. Friend of mine, Baron Rutledge, he's a surveyor in Arizona. He went to the Salt Flats in the Utah, and over 1,200 feet, not that far, just 1,200 feet, he measured a 12 or 15 arcsecond reciprocal zenith angle over
Is this
180 degrees.
Did he do it like in the desert? Like I've seen it in cartoons, like Wile E. Coyote, where they see the mirage. Did he do it in the desert?
No,
Like,
this
with the
this was
mirage?
in reality. It was not mirage. No.
It was in the deserts of Arizona.
He didn't paint the tunnel on the side of the hill for you?
So you go to so we got deserts. You go to deserts. We see mirages. We see.
It was the Bonneville. It was.
Venus angles.
So here you're straw manning. So it was the Bonneville Salt Flats. It wasn't the desert. It does rain there, and it wasn't a mirage. He did it early in the day to avoid the heat. So yeah, you should instead of straw manning the globe or straw manning the actual position. Here's an idea. Actually, look at the data. I'll pull it up for you. Just a second. All right. I'll post it there for you. Now you can go look at your leisure at the measurements he did there and see if you can understand that. Now let me make it clear here. Blind religious nuh-uh isn't a refutation of it. Refusing to look at it isn't a refutation of it. The first level of a refutation would be looking at the data, looking at the actual methodology, analyzing what was done there, and maybe identifying if there were any mistakes or errors or blunders that he did in his measurement. The next best thing would be to replicate that by going somewhere in a similar type situation with a similar or better measurement instrument and replicate the same type of measurement to see if what you get is similar to what he got, or if maybe you can identify that he made some sort of error. Yeah. Now, what has never happened is I've never seen a flat earther do that. I've seen flat earthers refuse to look at it. I've seen flat earthers give a blind nuh-uh to it. I've seen flat earthers change the topic and refuse to address it. But I've never seen a flat earther get a theodolite accurate to 1 arcsecond and go test out reciprocal zenith angles.
So 1,200 feet.
Never gone on a rocket and gone to the moon.
Yep, you deflected. One of the things that I said flat earthers would do, right? Thank you for that.
I don't know if you said it, but yeah, like so over. You said 1,200 feet.
I'm just from memory. Let me look here. I think I can. Yeah, 1,158 feet. There you go. I did 900 feet, and I did 900 feet. So, but I did something different. I just carried a straight, like you said, I could go to the same spot, and I'll find that there's a drop over distance. So, we could go there together if you want, or whatever, right? So I'll bring like an auto level. You carry the stick, and we'll just carry it over the distance and see if there is that drop that your friend measured over 1,200 feet. We'll see if we find it. Well, you don't need me. You can go do it yourself.
No, it's a 2-man job.
Awesome.
I can't carry the stick.
Do you not have any friends?
And operate the auto level.
That's too bad.
I think they do. I feel like you do things to get, like you say, hey guys, let's get on a plane. I just thought this was like customary of you. You get on a plane, you're like, guys, come on, let's get on a plane and go to places together.
I have done that. In fact, I went to Lake Tahoe.
To a green screen.
Lake Tahoe's a green screen?
Like where were the guns? That's what we all want to know.
Tell us the truth, McToon. It was Amazon green screen room.
There were no guns, and I was definitely in Antarctica. Now I have, just for those that think that they want to make the accusation of it being fake, I do have an offer, $100,000 to go there with me to. Right there, all the way down to Antarctica.
You have no friends?
Here, let me just talk, and
I've never seen a 24-hour video.
Then when I'm done, you can jump in. So here's the offer. I'm so confident that there is a 24-hour sun. I saw it with my own eyes. That you and I can go down there. If you don't believe, we can go down there. And if the sun sets, you can have my $100,000. It will be in escrow before we leave. And if the sun sets, you get it. Now, of course, being that you're confident in your position, you will also put $100,000 in escrow. And if we get there and then we see that the sun circles for 24 hours a day, I get your $100,000. Now, so far, only one flat earther has sort of taken me up on that offer, but then backed out on it today in a meeting that was going to happen, a video coming out soon on that. So anyway, if you are so certain that it was faked, that then certainly that $100,000 you'll be happy to pocket.
I don't know. I didn't say it was fake. Yeah. But
Rob
Joe
Noxious
Hanby
did.
said it's reflection.
Yep, and we did just a
$100,000.
hold on. Rob Noxious said something there.
He's all over you.
So I know. So Rob Noxious, we took a photo of the sun every minute for over 24 hours, and the sunspots were clearly visible on it, and they did not mirror. If it was a reflection off of the firmament of some sort, then you'd have to have a left-right mirroring of it. We did not see that. We saw the sunspots not mirrored, but in fact rotated as necessary at 80 degrees south latitude. So,
I don't know.
Joe Hanby.
Joe Hanby supports
Rob.
Yeah.
Rob, let him finish.
Yeah. Anyway, so Joe Hanby's claim is wrong. So
I don't know. The gusto that Rob says it with, I'm starting to think Hanby might be right.
Yeah, 16 times, dude. 16-time champion.
Rob, no. All
right. Is Rob just trolling here?
I don't know. He's globe, but he's breaking in and shouting. So,
Rob, troll later, please.
All right. Well, what about for 10 grand, McToon? We'll go to that same place, right? In you said it was Arizona, and we'll do this thing together, right? Well, so you'll carry the stick, or it doesn't really matter, right? We'll just call out the numbers. We'll see if there is a drop from that horizontal established by the auto level over the distance. We'll just drag the stick, right? And then we'll call out the numbers, and we'll see over 1,200 feet if there's a drop. And I would.
No, it's a deviation from the horizontal. It's not a drop the way that you're thinking about it. No thanks. So
right,
yeah, so you keep getting everything wrong. So if you can't even get these things wrong, I'm not having much faith in your ability to figure out how to get yourself over to the Bonneville Salt Flats. They aren't in Arizona. They're still not in Arizona. The Bonneville Salt Flats are not there. Baron Rutledge is from Arizona, not the Bonneville Salt Flats.
Okay,
and to be clear, if you carried a leveling rod out 1,200 feet, the rod reading would increase.
There we go. That's and that would be a change in elevation, right?
No,
that's the opposite of a change in elevation. That's a constant elevation.
You said it would increase?
The rod reading would increase, yes, and that would be demonstrating the constant elevation.
Interesting. So when I measure something to be going down, it's constant. It shows that it's not going down.
Well, yeah, because it's not going down. You didn't measure it going down. You measured the rod reading increase.
Yeah.
The number. Yeah.
Yeah, when you go downhill, the number reads higher.
Yeah, so they're saying it's the same elevation.
Except when you go across a level surface of constant elevation, the rod reading still increases, yes.
Interesting. So down is same.
I don't think
same is not same.
Shubil, I don't think he understands what means increase.
If the rod reading increases, you're going down.
He doesn't understand that where the zero is on the rod.
If the
rod reading increasing at 8 inches miles squared is the curvature of the Earth, and the curvature of the Earth is the constant elevation.
I guess we're redefining
topography. Any rod reading like that, your topography is what you're going to be reading.
That's why we talked about the salt flats.
Yeah. Hey,
the surface of the Earth. Yeah, it's the surface of Earth. I don't know the dispute.
Question for you. All right. Yeah, it's over your head. Anyway, question for you, No Tanks. Is north up?
Dude, listen. I don't know if we even agree on Earth at this point. So I read on a stick an elevation change of the Earth, and you say that's not Earth.
No. I think you don't understand how. You're not understanding how. Oh my gosh!
What Earth is?
Shubil,
point to Earth.
Is he playing omnivore? I don't know. Is he playing a part here, or is he actually this?
Just point to Earth.
Incapable of understanding simple stuff.
He is I don't. Do you know who Bev is?
Yeah.
He's acting. I've not seen him over there, but he's acting as a Bevite.
Oh, is he channeling Bev?
What's that?
Is he channeling Bev?
Yeah. What he's doing is it's a confusion about trying to use geometric axioms in the real world, and then being confused about things like different geometries. So, a straight line in spherical geometry is a great circle. So then, they claim that, you're saying straight is curved or curved is straight, and you don't mean that in the Euclidean terms. And, No-Tanks is smart enough to know that, the hill of water is an equipotential surface. You may not know what equipotential means, but he knows that, there's not a hill of water in the way that we would normally mean it, but I'm not sure if, I'm not sure. Go ahead.
That was McToon's proof earlier, that there was a equipotential hill of water in the center of the lake. That was his proof.
So what do you think equipotential surface means?
Equal.
Okay.
All right. So
what does that mean?
Here, Omnivore, let's do this. Thanks. Just a second.
Okay.
Just a second. You have you've exhausted your plays here. Okay. As
these are just
as
simple
I said,
questions. Rather than addressing the questions, it's like a personal attack.
Could you let me?
It's showing that insecurity in your
Could you let me
position.
finish before you interrupt here? Okay. So I came in here, I said flat earthers don't have evidence for flat earth, and No-Tanks has done that. No-Tanks has just played semantics games. No-Tanks has intentionally misunderstood things, as if that's a way to provide evidence for flat earth. It's not. It's a way to show that you don't have evidence for flat earth. So all these semantics games, No-Tanks, I appreciate that you've waved the white flag, that you don't have evidence for it. So let's move on to somebody.
I agree.
I wasn't quite done. I wasn't quite done. Just a second. So let's move on from the semantics games to now I don't think you have evidence for flat earth, so maybe you want to take a step back and let somebody else step forward to present no evidence for flat earth in your stead.
Or rather, as a man, you made a claim against him. Why don't you allow him to respond?
Yeah, I mean, it is listen. It is a semantical game that he's playing. He said when he gives up, it's me giving up. It's fine.
So this is an event. I'm sorry, but this is an event, and it is an event with Easy Tune. So we're gonna keep moving.
Okay. Yeah. We'll let McToon lead. Thank you, McToon, for your time.
Good try there.
And thank you, Omni.
Once again, flat earthers do not have evidence for flat earth, and it's been I've been in here over 30 minutes now, and no flat earth evidence has even been attempted. So I appreciate that. This is every single time that there is a flat earth debate, flat earthers do everything that they can to avoid addressing the topic of providing evidence for flat earth.
Call Dr. Phil.
Do you want to present evidence?
I appreciate it.
Okay. No-Tanks, you got a real quick.
I was just going to say, I appreciate the comment, McToon. Thank you. Yep.
Okay, so Eden, do you have evidence for a flat earth?
Okay, so unless McToon wanted to continue his presentation, or is this just I guess McToon.
No, you can
McToon,
present.
if you don't mind us. Oh, go ahead.
You can present.
Okay. Well, I guess why don't we start with water? I guess do you believe water and rock can take the shape of a sphere in space in the vacuum?
So this is your opportunity to present evidence for flat earth. If you're looking for tutoring, then this isn't really the time for getting tutoring.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, great point. So I believe in the biblical flat earth. So this flat earth that I believe comes with a firmament. There seems to be lots of evidence of the firmament, CIA documents, government military tests in 1962,
Excellent.
1950s radars.
Let's see them.
Yeah.
Just
have you
post
seen
them.
Operation? Okay, I'll post Operation Fishbowl footage. Just give me one moment.
Jesus told me it's flat. Jesus told me.
Oh, precious.
So we've been through this before. So Operation Fishbowl is the high altitude nuclear weapons test.
Yeah.
Which apparently looks to some people like a dome. However, one of the rockets that was tested went up 1,000 kilometers and came back, which is further away than than Eden thinks the dome is. So he believes that the rest of the test is legit, but that one rocket is a government lie.
Amazing. That's cherry.
Yeah, I'm not clear. Yeah, I wasn't clear if he meant it blew up when it hit the dome, although it had detonated on its return descent. So I wasn't clear on. I mean, we went through this with a while back, and I pointed out to him, the altitude of apogee of the rocket, and then on the way down, the altitude of detonation. So there was no impact of anything. I mean, it didn't hit the dome and blow up. No, specifically, it went out past, almost to where they think the sun is, and came back down.
Okay, do you have evidence of that claim?
All right. So
yeah, and I posted it to you because we had that discussion.
Shoebill, hold on.
Do you have any video evidence?
Shoebill, you can't hijack
Shoebill?
this. You can't hijack.
It's okay. That's okay. So McToon, I did. If you don't mind, do you prefer being called McToon, or is there a preferred name? Sorry, I never asked you before.
Well, flat earthers self-identify by calling me that as flat earthers.
As long as you don't take it as an offense.
All right, so I have the video. I'm looking at the video here of the Dominic on Fishbowl here explosion, right? That's what you're talking about? So
yes, I believe that's just one example. And so if we had two different explosions, one in free space, we would have a radial explosion. This one seems to mimic more of like something hitting a pond.
And how do you differentiate between the two of them?
By examining multiple explosions in free space and throwing a rock in a pond and seeing how they react. This definitely aligns more, in my opinion, and others, with something like hitting a pond.
Okay, and what was the geometry of the bomb?
This one, great question. I know there was at least 4 that were public, 3 that were close. 40 miles, if I'm not mistaken, 90 miles.
No.
And somewhere in that.
No, not what was the elevation? What was the geometry? How was the bomb constructed? Because you know how you certainly wouldn't bring this up if you didn't know how nuclear bombs were constructed, right? So,
I know there's two constructions or prototypes, or main prototypes, I suppose, that were deployed by the U.S.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know if it was 100% nuclear. It could have been just another type of high explosive material. I can't. I'm willing to concede this point. It's just because I haven't personally verified. This is just evidence that flat Earth, and I seem to accept right now. I'm still investigating, and I'm looking open for feedback.
Okay, so what you'd need to do in this instance is you would need to show how this is different than what the bomb would explode like in if it was unbounded versus if it was somehow hitting something. Because it seems to me like you're claiming this hit something, or it hit, or maybe you're claiming that it exploded adjacent to some surface. I don't know which one you're claiming.
Great question. From the video, it doesn't have the entire from launch to impact. I'm sure maybe it's floating around in there, but according to this atomic channel, it looks like it may have impacted into the firmament. But that's just my first.
Okay, all right. So
interpretation.
I mean, this was you're like, the firmament exists. Here's proof of it, and now you're like, oh, I don't know. It sort of kind of looks like it, but I'm not sure. We don't know how high it was. Well, don't know the geometry of the bomb. Don't know how the bomb was constructed. Don't know how high it was. Don't know if it was next to the firmament or it was near the firmament or away from the firmament. Don't know if it exploded by hitting the firmament or if it exploded near it because it was timed. You don't actually know anything about this yet. This was your evidence for the firmament.
That's a straw man. That's a straw man that you're building up to beat down because you maybe want to feel better.
It's not a straw man. man,
provide some
I'm
information.
saying that you haven't you think that this is evidence for something, but when I start querying you for details on it, you don't have any details. That's what I'm saying.
I'm hearing is nuh-uh. Essentially, everybody in the room, this is what we're getting. Nuh-uh. Just because I can pull up some evidence if you like. Some more technical. You asked for evidence.
I specifically asked for evidence, and this is the first thing you gave me. Things that you know nothing about.
No. You shifted the goalpost, and now you're set up a straw man, maybe to feel better.
Shifted the goalpost. I asked for evidence of the firmament.
Okay.
There's no goalpost shifting.
I believe it's not proof. It's evidence. You claimed I was providing proof. No, I provided evidence. Now you shifted the goalpost to say, no, he doesn't know this. He doesn't know that. I can get you some of that information if you like right now.
Absolutely. Go dig that up. Go ahead. Now, I never said proof. I don't know what you're talking about, but and I did ask you how you differentiated that this explosion is different than explosion that would be in unbounded 3D space, and you don't know the difference.
Well, haven't you ever seen an explosion in free space? I have multiple times.
And I'm asking you how this is different. How is it different?
No, I can't force you to believe what you're going to see with your own eyes. You have to interpret it yourself, and maybe you can't use your imagination or go out and.
Sounds like you can't qualify how this would be different from an explosion in 3D space, unbounded versus near some surface. You can't qualify that.
No, we could definitely provide side-by-side video evidence. I just provided one.
Go ahead. I'll just go grab that.
Okay, so we've already seen one potentially of the firmament. Let me see if I can find one in an open space for you. One moment.
While you're at it, then also identify, like I asked, the geometry of that particular bomb. We'll wait. Oh. Gakushi's a big Katy Perry fan. Not a fan myself, but Gakushi, if you're into it, then if you're into her, did you kiss a girl and you like the taste of her cherry chapstick? That's fine, Gakushi. But I would say I think it's funny how she does like to call herself an astronaut. Apparently, I think that the definition for astronaut maybe could be updated to be more than just being 100 kilometers vertical, and could be a little more substantive than that. Because with space tourism, it gets a little bit too muddied between somebody that's a space tourist versus somebody that's actually, done something meaningful. So, Rob Noxious says that wasn't a girl. I'm afraid.
I love you, McToon.
To roll over. Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Rob Noxious. I did not want to see that.
Give these guys hell, man. I listen to all your shows, man. Give them hell, Michael.
Who's talking?
It doesn't sound important. Just
Rob
keep doing
Noxious.
your thing, dude.
It's Rob Noxious.
You the man. You the man, dude. I watch all your stuff. I love it. Give these guys hell, man. Keep it up. Will Duffy is the destroyer, bro.
They do. They cower before him.
Dude, he's like death when he walks into a room, bro. That guy is cool, calm, and collective and calculating. I envy him, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Are these?
Okay, that's interesting.
Hold on. All right. So taking back Eden, these are the all right. So we've got this is great. All right, I'll write these down here so I can refer to them. We've got Starfish Prime. Was it named Patrick? 400 kilometer. Okay, nice. Then we've got Bluegill Prime. Which is 400 kilometer. Okay. Both of them.
Although it failed, so
failed. Not sure what that means. All right, we've got Bluegill Double Prime. Man, which was 400. What was that? What's the elevation of that one? It doesn't say. Oh wait, Bluegill Prime failed doesn't have an elevation either. altitude dash double prime. Oh, failed again. Okay. So nothing. These failed ones aren't very impressive. Do you have the non-failed ones? Okay, here we go. Checkmate. Is that the name of it?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Checkmate.
That would have
147.
been maybe the code name. Yeah.
147 kilometers. All right, and we've got bluegill triple prime. Which is an elevation of 48 kilometers. Okay, so and this was in, okay. We've got Kingfish at 95 kilometers. All right. We've got Tightrope. This I don't know where you're going with this. This is great though. I don't think you're not steering clear of the first law yet. But I do the first law reigns supreme. You know that, right? All right. Got it. Okay, so I've got these down here. We've got Starfish Prime 400 kilometers. We got Checkmate 147 kilometers, Bluegill Triple Prime at 48 kilometers, and Kingfish at 95 kilometer, Tightrope at 21 kilometers. Okay, so now what we've identified here is the elevation. So are you saying that the firmament is at those different elevations?
It's really hard to say because I can't verify. I just have to take these documents for what they state and maybe presume they're accurate, or there's some sort of misdirection or propaganda.
Okay.
I do believe in the firmament. There are other documents from the CIA that mention the firmament. In fact, if you go to CIA FOIA website, you type in firmament, there's over 5 pages and 20 links per page of references to the firmament.
Okay, well let's stick with what you've presented here so far. So this when asked for evidence and details and measurements, because your video was pretty wishy-washy in your response to that, you've now identified 5 or 6 different. Let me count. Let me make sure I get the number right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5 different tests ranging from 21 kilometers to 400 kilometers in elevation. So the firmament varies in elevation maybe. Now the problem is with that, I have from Minnesota measured the elevation of the sun, assuming flat Earth, to be at 5,000 kilometers. So is the sun outside the firmament or inside the firmament?
That's a great question. I in my opinion, is only who's barely scratched the surface from Hebrew study and a personal observation. I think it's within the firmament underneath, and it would be closer than 5,000. I'd like to know how you drew your 5,000, but according to others like Sean, I know you've spoken to Sean from Kingdom Context. He says that, and he's done more biblical research on the model, the idea. He says the sun and the moon are in the third firmament. I don't know where he drew his conclusions, but I'm gonna have to look into that. But I think it's under the dome.
I know where Sean got his information from. When he sits down, it's underneath him. And so anyway, the way that I measured the elevation of the sun, presuming flat Earth, right? So testing the model of flat Earth is on both of the equinoxes when the sun is over the equator. I measured the angular elevation of the sun, presuming flat Earth, and it was from Minneapolis here, where I am at 45 degrees north latitude. The elevation of the sun was 45 degrees. And so I am 45 degrees latitude from the equator. Well, that is 5,000 kilometers. I'm 5,000 kilometers from the equator. And the angle is 45 degrees to the sun here. So we've got a triangle that's 45 degrees, 5,000 kilometers, and then 90 degrees. So that gives us angle side angle. And you remember solving triangles, right? If you have angle side angle, can you solve the whole triangle?
Yes, I suppose, yes. But now making these measurements is one thing, though, McToon. Verifying the measurement is another.
Well,
I understand.
Let me finish. Let me finish then.
Okay,
So we solve the triangle, and so the side that is adjacent from where I am to the 90 degree, that's 5,000 kilometer. And then from the subsolar point, that's where that point is, where the 90 degrees up to the sun, that also must be the same distance because it's a 45 90 triangle. So the elevation of the sun must be 5,000 kilometers. So now that doesn't work with your firmament, which is 4,400 kilometers, 147 kilometers, 48 kilometers, 95 kilometers, or 90 or 21 kilometers. So that kind of falls apart as soon as we test it.
I agree. And can I just respond really quick? Thank you, and so much for that. Is there any way that you can even get a closer sun from your opinion? Like, couldn't we say, let's say if it was under 800? Have you tried that math as well?
If it was under 800, then it could not be 45 degree elevation on the equinoxes. It would be less than that, much less than that. So that doesn't work. It falls apart instantly. There is no other possible elevation for the sun on flat Earth than 5,000 kilometers as measured from Minneapolis on the equinoxes. No other possible elevation works.
Okay, thank you. Is there any way that you can post that formula in the chat for me to review? I just have a few questions that I'll probably address myself and see if I can answer.
What? How to solve a triangle? 45 degrees,
Well,
5,000 kilometers.
Well, it goes to show that
degree. There you go. I posted it there.
Okay, thank you. Is there any?
I got a typo in it. 5,000. I typed 5,000.
Okay,
there you go.
it.
There you go. All right.
Okay, are we presuming the size of and the radius? Okay, do we presume the radius of or the size of the sun at all in this equation?
You don't need to know the size of the sun at all. You don't need to know what it's made of either. You don't need to know anything. It's just I was using the angle to the sun. That's all you need. Doesn't matter how big it is.
And then on the equator. Okay, I got you.
Because we know that on the equinoxes, the sun is over the equator. That's been known for millennia.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, thank you. I appreciate your feedback.
All right. He made a McTriangle. That King 8, is that King 8 Ball? Is that what the person's mangled name is?
I did, McToon, I did hear the ancients also had that figure, right? I think that was the average number even in the past, 5,000 miles? Or
The 5,000, in what I am aware of, in the first time that number appears anywhere in the literature is Rowbottom. He said he did it in miles. He said 3,000 miles, which is approximately 5,000 kilometer.
Thank you. I thought I read the Egyptians and the Babylonians had a similar calculation. But I don't have that information.
I'm unaware of anything like that. But the Egyptians and prior to Rowbottom, everybody had an idea that night was universal. Everybody experienced night at the same time. They were unaware that nighttime for them was daytime for somebody else.
What about the Chinese, right? The yin yang. That some people speculate that was it was like a multi-purpose symbol. It encompassed the idea of the Earth with the sun and the moon rotating above the plane, right. So you have light on one side, and then it also for yin and yang of I guess good and bad.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of concepts to it, and you could study Korean, and it's Umyang. And they have even a slightly different nuanced idea than China. but it's I would need to see some cosmology from Chinese saying that that is actually what they meant by it. I've never seen that. Not that it doesn't exist. I just am unaware of it.
I know what you mean. Yeah, same. Oh, thank you.
Ooh. Somebody freshly made some coffee. I wouldn't mind some coffee right now. Flat Earth Funeral is the one that made some coffee. Anyway, okay. So Gakushi was kicking around here. Big fan.
Yeah, do we have Gakushi?
Big fan of Katy Perry, right?
Yeah, you think she went to space, don't you?
Well, she went up 62 miles or 100 kilometers up. So there, that's the definition of where the Kármán line is. So yeah, she went there. Now, I would take umbrage with classifying everybody that was a tourist for 4 minutes as an astronaut, but I don't disagree that she went to space.
Yeah, I've heard some globe defenders even calling it out as fake. They were saying that it's AI. That's kind of interesting to see. But
I don't know of anybody saying that. It's silly. I mean, there's people were there. People, saw the rocket go. It's a public event. It's, Bezos does it so that he can sell seats. There's a reason why he's doing it. It's marketing. So he wants people to see it. He wants people to be there to watch it and experience it so that they also think, hey, that'd be cool. I should go too. That's why he's doing it. So, it's really ridiculous to claim that something didn't exist when lots of people were there seeing it exist with their own eyes. Right?
Yeah, looking at it from far away tells you proof that they went to space, right?
If you see the rocket yourself launch off and it goes up really high, yeah, that is solid evidence for it happening. Experiencing it personally yourself, yes, super good evidence for it. I saw SpaceX launch a rocket and then come back to land myself with my own eyes, and I felt the sonic boom in my chest. Right?
So since this happened in 2025 and not in 1969, can you please provide the video that shows the camera adjacent to the rocket that it shows going from the ground to space and then coming down?
I don't know if there are any. That's not. So what you're doing here is one of the classic traits of a science denier is a super high standard of evidence. So it's also called sea lioning. So none of that is refutation of it happening. And so if you think that it didn't happen, then, you being the honest person you want to be, you would provide some sort of substantive refutation for it. Maybe somebody was there nearby and with a telescope was watching it and then saw that it didn't go 100 kilometers high, right? Or
Nicktoon, I have a perfect interview for you, but no pressure. Bart Sabrell, he's Christian, I believe, and he believes in the globe. Would you ever sit down and have a YouTube discussion with him?
Sure.
Bart Sabrell, he was the guy that Buzz Aldrin hit, wasn't he?
Yeah, Buzz is a hero for that.
I still like Buzz. I figure, yeah. But have you personally watched? Have you watched his two movies by chance before we move on?
Bart Sabrell's, yeah.
Okay, awesome. I thought so. Thank you.
Yeah, his position was, just for reference, his claim was, and it's changed because anyway, his position has changed, but initially he claimed that rather than going to the moon, he was claiming that they were in orbit around the globe for multiple days. But
yeah,
before that, I forgot the name of the guy before Bart that kind of led that charge. I think he's dead now, but he had claimed that they didn't even go up; that they went to Vegas and got drunk and had some some like people saw them there, which of course that changed over time when it was shown that that wasn't the case.
So the goofy standard of evidence is when somebody says, well, you have to do this one particular bizarre thing or else it's not it's not valid evidence.
Yeah, that's
not how evidence works.
I'll get it. Hold on. I got the book right here. How to Talk to a Science Denier by Lee McIntyre. And he identifies, I think, 4 traits of science deniers here. Let me grab... Oh, I might have removed the bookmark. Did I? I did. I removed the bookmark that I had for where it was when I was reading it one time. The bookmark's in the front of the book. Oh, no, here we go. I got them. 5 traits: cherry-picking evidence, belief in conspiracy theories, reliance on fake experts and the denigration of real experts, committing logical errors, and number 5, setting impossible expectations for what science can achieve. So the impossible expectation is the one there that you're looking at, which of course rolls right into the 3rd law of Flerf as well. So there we go.
Yeah, when I was showing the reciprocal zenith angles that I had done and other vertical angles I had done, I was told without the video, cool story, bro.
Yeah, it's a necessary thing to change it after the fact. Like is this the standard of evidence that convinced you that the Earth was flat, or did you have a different standard of evidence for accepting flat Earth evidence? That's the 3rd law of Flerf, as Icy Spin just posted there. And CK posted there to the link to the website. Number 3 is Flerfs are pseudoscientists when evaluating flat Earth and science deniers when evaluating globe evidence. No exceptions. So, and it was a little, it's a little tongue in cheek to say pseudoscientists there. It's more about just having the dual standard of evidence.
Okay, good. Because if we were going to mention pseudoscience, we were going to have to bring up PBS and Nat Geo. Maybe have everybody go to their channel and recommend they bring them down or put warnings for the children.
Well, here's what you should do. If somebody ever does bring those things up as evidence for the globe, then you should challenge them to it. I agree. But since I didn't do that, then it's immaterial to this conversation, isn't it?
Yeah. And before we move too far away from the moon, maybe we have a challenge here for everybody, all the globe defenders. No pressure. Don't want to put you on the spot here. But maybe someone here can post the very first video of Earth from the moon. And we can find out which is the very first official video taken from an astronaut from the moon, the surface of the moon.
So once again, we're seeing that dual standard of evidence pop up here. It's got to be video. Photo's not good enough. Photo's not good enough. There's lots of photos. Photography. The field of photography was super good at the time. The field of live video was not very good at the time, especially broadcasting over that distance. So yeah, let's set that as the necessary thing, right? That's the necessary thing.
No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying let's see who can post the first official video. It's nothing but a simple request. Maybe someone can put an end to the debate, because I'm asking the globe defenders, and someone will post one video, someone will post another video. So I want to see what's the official first video.
Here's the problem. You said end the debate, but that won't end the debate. I mean, you won't accept that. You'll move the goalpost.
End the debate of which video is the first video of Earth from the moon.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't think so, because
all right, hold on. Ruby,
it'd be embarrassing.
Hold on.
Might be embarrassing what video you play.
Hold on. Rubik's Uber says, why do you think most flat earthers believe the Earth is flat? Is it because it's in the Bible, conspiracy theory stuff? I think well, there's a couple things that get people into it, and they're kind of prerequisites. They have to have no understanding of geometry to begin with, because it fails instantly as soon as you have just elementary school geometry. That's note 1. Number 2, yeah, you have to have conspiracy, belief in conspiracy theories, it's a gullibility to it. That was in the book, How to Talk to a Science Denier from Lee McIntyre. Typically, you have to have a pretty poor science background. So very few flat earthers, for example, even took, in the United States, physics class is something that you take as an optional class in most states in high school. And I think it's rare to find a flat earther that took that. And even less went on to study any STEM program after high school. So those are a few of the things that are prerequisites. And then, yeah, a lot of them tend to have a biblical leaning, and of that, they tend to be hyper literal, but that's not completely required. And then there's a few other things that I don't want to belabor too much, but it tends to have some social issues and some ostracization things that happen at times for people, or things like that. So to answer that question, it's not really the topic for tonight. So anyway, so far in the a little bit over an hour I've been here, I've been vindicated in my claim that no flat earther will be able to provide flat earth evidence, that they don't have any flat earth evidence. So Gakushi, what do you got?
What if they debunk your evidence? Then what?
That's not evidence for flat earth. That's just still not evidence for flat earth. So, right?
Right, but if they debunk your evidence, there's only one option, right?
Nope. That's a false dichotomy there. But more likely, furries around the globe, chimping out. Nice. I don't. I think flatties tend to think that I'm one of the ones with a head mask thing on. I'm not. There's one video of me, and I'm in that globe thing, the wireframe globe, wearing a Bucky's feety pajamas. That's it for me. So now here, let me give an example. So it's taken back. Eden was like, how about video of the Earth from the moon? Well, by the same token, I would expect maybe you'd have video of the firmament from Antarctica, right? Now, somebody really close to the firmament maybe has a video of it there. Wouldn't that be great? Of course it would.
Yes. Well, there was a video floating around. It's hard to tell if it was legit. It looked like a pillar in Antarctica. It looked like some sort of some metallic structure. And the reason I found that interesting, because I think a week after I actually saw that video, a globe defender was trying to give me logic that there was no way for it to be held up or supported without some sort of extra material or extra support. And I thought that was just odd. But yeah, great point. Yeah, there should be some video of the firmament from Antarctica.
Now, I've been to 80 degrees south, just 700 miles from 90 degrees south. And I looked due south at local solar midnight, and I saw the sun, and it was not a reflection because it was not mirrored. And at the very same time, it was over the ocean very close to Australia. And people in Australia were experiencing daytime, and people in Punta Arenas, at the southern tip of Chile, were experiencing nighttime at that very moment. So how does that work with any concept of flat Earth? It doesn't. No flat earther has ever provided an actual explanation for how that works.
Yeah, thank you for going down there. I guess the subsolar point, the high noon, was in Australia?
The subsolar point, it was very close to the Tropic of Capricorn. Okay. We were there December 14 to 17, so just maybe half a degree from the
interesting.
From the Tropic of Capricorn when we were there, because it's a sine wave and it's at the peak of the sine wave, so it's not varying much per day. So, how does that happen? How does that work on the circle of the Earth, as some biblical flat earthers claim, the Isaiah 40:22? It doesn't work at all. There's no circle of the Earth that works anymore. Never worked, but this just crushes it even more. Right? Nothing. In the months since we went to Antarctica, there's been 3 different general groupings of flat earthers. One is those that have claimed it wasn't real somehow, and I've offered to pay anybody $100,000 to come with me, and none save for one has even responded in the affirmative, and that fell apart today. Number 2, they claim that things in the sky don't prove the shape of the Earth, is what they say. Of course, the very same people generally like to claim for quite a while that celestial navigation proved things about the shape of the Earth. So that's a very strange hypocrisy there, that until it wasn't convenient anymore, they said that things in the sky did do somehow let us establish the shape of the Earth. And then, of course, the third grouping is those that claimed it was faked outside of our knowledge. So you got Flat Earth Dave with his magical unknown technology of lasers and plasma, and something still somehow causing the sunspots to be visible, matching everywhere else on the Earth, perfectly matching the globe rotation. How did we not notice that? Unknown. How did it make the entire sky blue? Unknown. But it definitely happened, he thinks. Or that Satan shapeshifted into the sun, as D Nodal says. So there's your 3 groups. Nobody, though, has said, hey, look at that. Here's how it works.
Oh, speaking of Satan, McToon, do you find it odd that there's a lot of Satan homage on the globe side?
I find it odd that there's a lot of Satan homage on Flat Earth side.
Have you met literal Flat Earth Satanists?
Yes. Mark Braun is...
I did hear of one.
Mark Braun literally claims to be Satan. He says he is. He has claimed Lucifer as his... not Lucifer, Prince of Darkness, something like that. A flat
He's a flat earther?
Yes. And he predates Dubé. He started in March of 2014 talking about flat Earth on YouTube. He still has a YouTube channel. You can find him, Quasi-Luminous. One channel is called Quasi-Luminous. The other is just called Satan. He's a plumber in Florida. That's what he claims he is. He wanted in 2018, he wanted to take a group of flat earthers to the North Pole, have them literally, his words, jump into the lake of fire at the North Pole, and then enter Hyperborea with him, because he said that he had the Spear of Destiny. So there you go. I find it interesting that there's so many flat Earth, so many satanic references in flat Earth, that he predates Dubé, that he is one of the leading figures in flat Earth on YouTube.
Okay, but random guy on the internet, but versus NASA, why do you think they made the satellite antenna array named after Satan when they were communicating for the moon landings? It was called the Satellite Antenna Tracking Array Network. Was that just for fun, or
I don't know that that's the case, but that doesn't, it's not meaningful at all. It doesn't change the shape of the Earth at all.
I gotcha. Yeah.
I mean, why does Karen B have 666 in the phone number that you can call into her show? Does that prove anything? Yeah. It does not. Just something that she likes to do because it's her thing. Right? Neither does Mark Braun, literally claiming to be Satan, actually change anything about the shape of the Earth.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. Most flat earthers are religious, and the ball earthers are mostly atheists. So,
well, I would disagree with you there. Somewhere around 4 billion people or more are Abrahamic believers of some Abrahamic religion, and they agree that the Earth is a globe. So the majority of humans alive at the moment follow some variant of Abrahamic religions and agree that the Earth is a globe. So
you're talking about the average population. 99% of them don't really care. They don't invest time about the shape of the Earth. I'm talking about the preachers on the internet like you or Nathan Oakley or the guys who preach on the other side.
Oh, okay.
And when you take the top globers like you, for example, most of them are atheists, and the flat earthers are usually the religious ones.
And what am I?
I don't know what your religion belief is. Are you an atheist or?
You seem to think you know my position here.
I said most of the globers.
And then you gave me as your very first example. So what is my position?
McToon's a believer.
So are you Christian or are you an atheist?
I thought you knew. You're the one telling me what I know. You're the one that listed me as the very first example of globers. So what is my position? Nobody help him. Nobody help him here. What is my position?
Well, I asked you what your religious belief is, but I know you definitely have a science belief, right? So that makes you an atheist.
You asserted that I was one of the leading globers, and you asserted that I was one of the atheist leading globers. Oh dear. Oh dear. What about the one that in the last year has made the most stir, destroying flat Earth? What about that guy? What's his position?
I don't know who that guy is.
That would be Will Duffy. What's his position?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, he's a preacher at a rather conservative, religiously conservative church. So, man, not looking good there, right? What about
a few examples?
What about how about
Gucci,
what about?
Do you know about me? You're in the server here. Do you know where I stand?
No, but you guys are definitely like, you could claim you're religious, but let's be honest here.
I go to church
every
every
Big Bang. You believe in the mainstream science, so you're not. Are you religious?
Did you go to church this Sunday?
Your position is a bit wishy-washy here. Kind of falling apart here. You came in pretty hot on this topic. It's not working well for you.
Religious? I don't think you guys are.
Oh, the No True Scotsman. Got it. Love it. Thank you for that one, Gakushi. Do you have any evidence for flat Earth? Or you just want to add to the list of those that don't?
I'm actually not a flat earther, believe it or not. But
I don't.
You are as flat as they come.
I do not believe you.
I'm not a flat earther.
I believe that you hug your Gleason's map pillow to sleep every night.
Gleason's map was debunked 10 years ago. What are you talking about?
Oh, what map is the right map then? No map. You don't have one, do you? You got nothing. What about my favorite?
You have a map, the globe map. That's the map.
Well, that's a globe. Thank you. Globe proven, I guess. What everybody in here, just for everybody, what is your favorite flat Earth map? I have mine. I won't say it yet. But what is your favorite flat Earth map? Maybe people could post their favorite in the Discord.
I have one.
Post in the Discord, people. Post your favorite flat Earth. I'll do the same. Your favorite flat Earth map. Gakushi is what? It's an azimuthal equidistant.
That's a map that's projected onto the globe.
It's an AE map centered on London. Brilliant. I love that one. Caitlin, that's nice. Hey, Omnivore. Does anybody have an actual, like, one that people believe is actual? Like, there are lots of...
There is a group that actually believes that the map is the Mercator projection.
That is,
and
the group.
They're on YouTube. I tried to join their server. They would not explain it, and they banned me. But they held that it was the Mercator without Pac-Man teleportation. So I have no idea how they think it works.
All right. Well, I'm gonna post mine here. Let me see. Can I post it?
Steelman, the flat Earth map.
What do you mean, Steelman?
Hey, Omni, where's that group at? I want to hear that group talk. That sounds like an interesting group of people.
All right, can I not post? I think I can't post.
Omni will help.
Okay.
Hey, Bull Knight, you know the square and stationary Earth is actually the Greek model as well prior to
this one
Socrates era.
That one?
Yeah, that square and stationary. The bowl is actually the Greek model as well prior to the adoption of globe. They had the same. They believed that the Earth was in a bowl, and that the sun and moon sat on the edges of the bowl, and that's what gave you your day-night cycle. That the edge of the bowl blocked the light.
Yeah, like
there was that one flat earther who was super convinced that north was up and south was down, like sloped.
All All right. I got it. Here's my favorite map. Icy Spin likes the one from Ronnie and Jason. I like Daz Nez's Pac-Man Diamond map sitting on pillars. That one's hilarious. Darren Nesbitt.
Is that the one with 3 poles or just 2?
It's got 3 poles would be the one generally from Ronnie and Jason. The one with the wavy equator. It's got 3 poles on it. But it's Pac-Manning, so it yeah. Okay. Anybody else over there? Kikuchi, I mean you don't think the earth is flat. Okay. So this is an opportunity for flat earthers to not have evidence for flat earth. And and we know flatties. We know you're flatties. And we know when you're like, oh crap, I don't have evidence for it. I'll just pretend I'm not a flatty. We got it. We know. That's just the white flag coming out there.
So if you want a true flatty, when are you going to sit down with Nathan Oakley?
I would love to have Nathan Oakley on here. Do you think he's got what it takes? You think he's got the chops to face me on a neutral platform where he doesn't have?
For sure.
Yeah. Well, let him know that I'm ready. I think I have. Let me grab it here. Let's see. I have a timer. There it is. The timer, the tick timer for how long it's been since I challenged Nathan Oakley to debate me on a neutral platform. I'll just post that in the chat here. There you go. And I'll put it up on screen. 1,161 days, 20 hours, 26 minutes since I invited Nathan Oakley to debate me on a neutral platform. So could he maybe one of these days dig deep, find some courage, and face me on a neutral platform? Omnivore, would you be willing to host that?
No way. Omnivore's on your side. There's no way.
I would absolutely host it, and I would make sure that he was, treated reasonably well.
All right.
He can,
there you go.
I don't like either one of you. Can I be a mod?
No, it has to be a neutral ground. I probably have to be the moderator.
There we go.
And I just posted. I just posted what I think is the most comprehensive flat Earth map. The eyeball map.
The eyeball moon map.
Oh, that's
nothing at all.
That's the outer ponder map, isn't it?
I don't know, but I just like the fact that they map it onto the eyeball because that's why it's a globe, because because our eyeballs are curved. I don't know, but I thought that one seemed to have all original information or original text and original graphics, as opposed to what the hell is Girth doing where he's got all those little popcorn islands, forever in concentric rings out in the middle of nowhere.
And how does Firmament work with that, a dome that he talks about? Like, Girth can't even keep his story straight. If there's a dome, then how do you get out of the dome? You couldn't because don't you have to have, according to them, pressure? You can't have pressure without containment. If you can go through the dome, then it's not contained. All of it will leak out. Oh, they can't keep it straight.
And I've seen a couple permutations of this eyeball map, but the iris of the eyeball, and then the lens of the eye, and you get the cornea. Yeah, that's the somewhat spherical but yet flat Earth eyeball map.
So hold on a second. Dim Mac is making trash talk. I see this one here. Do you, Nathan Oakley, take this mute button to be your lawfully wedded wife? Oh yeah, she's beautiful, the most beautiful creature I've ever seen. The problem is that man has hair and doesn't look like Uncle Fester. Somebody needs to put Uncle Fester in there.
He's also well dressed.
Yes. Oh dear.
And I think he probably has all his teeth, and I don't know about Nathan.
Yeah. Okay, so Taking Back Eden posted this one here. Isaiah 40:22 doesn't work. The Earth cannot be a circle because when I was in Antarctica, I looked due south. due south, which is in the opposite direction, according to this map that you just posted here. The opposite direction of where Australia is. When the sun was over Australia, or right near it, over the ocean near it. And yet I saw the sun while looking the opposite direction from it. The eyeball doesn't work. It's taken back Eden. It's funny.
Thank you. I guess Australia was probably limited to less than 12 hours a day. I guess what was it like in Antarctica? Were you able to sleep still, or I didn't even follow your videos. Were you up most of the time? Or?
We were the first night we were there. We basically didn't get any sleep. Like, we were in the hut thing, and there wasn't a lot of room, and so no, there wasn't a lot of sleeping going on for most of us. But like Austin, he was sleeping underneath the table. Jaron slept for a bit. Lisbeth, I don't think, slept at all. Dave McKeegan did not. Critical Think did. He just set up in the middle of the room. He's like, I'm out. Will slept a bit. I sat on a chair, and I'm like, I was very uncomfortable. But then the rest of the time, we did not get a lot of sleep. It's difficult because the sun doesn't go down. So we're up. We're in the mess hall there, and the sun's coming in through the window, and we're like, hey, can you shut that shade? The sun's in my face. And it's 2 a.m.
Yeah, I believe it. I saw some of the pictures. Yeah, thank you for sharing.
It was very cool to be there, but yeah, the sleeping is a challenge. But we were there to do stuff. We weren't there to sleep. So I'm like, I'm good. Yeah, I'll sleep later. True. And I did sleep when we got back. I slept a bit, and then I stayed up all night after we got back. So
you couldn't freely travel there, right?
Oh, hold on.
I suppose on arrival, being all sunny, you didn't want to risk having, taking a break and then the clouds.
Well, yeah, we'd looked at the weather report, and the weather was there was some bad weather coming in, and Will was talking with I think Anthony Powell or somebody else. I'm not certain who. I thought it was Anthony. And then he's like, yeah, you've got 2 days of clear weather, and then after that, it looks like storms coming in. So do everything you can as soon as you hit the ground. So that's what we did.
So who's arming that place? Is there police there, or
no?
Who's guarding it?
There's no. Here, I'll send you a picture. Here you go. Here's a picture.
Because Whitsett said you couldn't freely travel, so
there was nobody to stop you.
Yeah, nobody at all. They were saying it's for your own health, it's for your own protection, but
yeah, I mean, if you wanted, you could have just started walking, and then people would say, "What are you doing? Do you want to die? We don't want to come and collect your corpse." But yeah, if you want to freely explore Antarctica, you 100% can. There are things that you need to do to be a responsible human when you're there. So here's a photograph of Dave McKeegan and Mark Herman. You can see, you see that mountain there in the background? That's due south. So if you wanted, you could just go start walking. Go ahead. But you know what'll happen? You get to the mountain and say, what the heck do I do now? What are you going to do? So if you do want to go to Antarctica, if anybody's interested, I can certainly get you in contact with the right people. The treaty says you're not allowed to litter, basically, and including your corpse. So if you're going to go there, then make plans to not leave your corpse there. So, it's not that difficult. Just plan ahead. If you want to bring a vehicle, you can. Costs money. If you want to get fuel there for your vehicle, you can. Costs money. If you want to drive straight across Antarctica from one coast to the other, going through the pole, you can. Just plan ahead, and if you want, ALE will help you do whatever it is that you want to do. It just costs money. What about that?
But you could completely self-fund it.
You could look for funding. You could go to the Flat Earth community and say, hey, let's actually do some research. Let's do what we've been talking about for all these years and see if see what happens there. Will you actually be allowed to do it? And certainly you will, because people have done it multiple times. And, people try to do some sort of a world record. They're like the first person to go that's, this old, or first person to go that's handicapped, the first person to go that has exactly zero help from any outsiders, bring all of their stuff with them when they come in and bring it all with them on the way out. Those are just people that are adventure seekers. If you're an investigator, if you want to know the truth about the shape of the Earth, then you wouldn't need to do those things. You'd say, well, let's get a vehicle that's, reliable and will definitely make it there. And let's have contract with somebody to drop fuel at certain depots along the way so that we can refuel, because there's no gas stations, and put some food in there too. And then we'll put our garbage in those at those same depots, and then they can come fly them out when we're done, and you can go straight across. Take you, I don't know how long, a couple weeks.
We can just fly around the coastline of Antarctica and see how long the distance is.
Yes, go ahead, do that as well. Yep. Totally could do that if you wanted. Again, none of this is free, of course, but if that is your standard of evidence, the only thing you would accept, right? You wouldn't accept somebody else's word. Only your own word, and not flying straight across, not flying to the pole and then coming out through a dramatically different angle. No, none of that allowed. Okay, fine. Do whatever it is that is your standard of evidence, put it together, and you can do it.
Were you able to see or spot Antarctica from the plane?
Yeah.
From a distance, or?
Yes. Yeah, I can put a picture in of that. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, awesome. Yeah, I asked Jaron in Austin if they saw the volcano smoke from the active volcano. They didn't see it. I think it was just too far away.
Yeah, I don't think we were close enough to the volcano. The volcano isn't near where we were. So, all right, let me get this as a JPEG.
I'm wondering why Witz had said he couldn't just go anywhere he wanted.
I mean, he could have. There was nobody there to stop you. There's no police. There's no guards. There's nobody there with any way to prevent you. So there you go. There's the plane. So off in the distance is Antarctica. I mean, it's just a random one of the photos I took. I put the entire video of the flight as a time lapse on my Conspiracy Tunes channel. If anybody wants to go look at it.
Which it didn't want to die.
Yep. Self-preservation is a good motivation, a good reason not to just go walking off. Because also, then of course, somebody'd have to come pick up his corpse.
And it's like walking from New York to California.
Well, 700 miles
all the way across.
Oh, all the way across, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't
in a frozen desert. Yes.
Yeah, with no food and no...
And what was that? What was it, like in '83 or that Transglobal, where somebody did take a singular longitude from pole to pole all the way around?
Yeah, I think. Well, there's one in the '70s, a Pan Am flight.
Well, no, this was like dog sleds and trucks and boats.
Yes, the Trans-Antarctic. I have it. Hold on. I have it.
Well, I think it was Transglobal because he came down Africa on a longitude, went across onto Antarctica, same longitude, went through the South Pole, came out the other side, continued on boat, and then went back up.
It was
to the North Pole, and then came back around England.
Yeah, it was a group of people that did it. Something.
It took 3 years, I think.
Yeah, and they didn't. It wasn't a race or anything. So yeah. There was a group that did that. So, yep. And they came in Antarctica on 180 degrees, I think, and then left Antarctica on the 0 degrees longitude. So there you go.
I think it might have been the other way around because I think their first course, went across the Horn of Africa or went across
could
West
be the
Africa.
other way around. So. Okay, yeah.
It came out of England, due south across Africa, I believe.
It's called the Transglobe Expedition. There we go. They have a bunch of. They have a website. If you just search for a little bit, you'll find the Transglobe Expedition website. That is a handful of different photos from probably actually on that page there, on the wiki page. So there you go. For those curious, it's been done. Like, it's never been done. There you go. It's been done. You just need to look it up. Flatty's off. They like to say that it's never been done, but it has. Let me say that Brenda Creates says that Mikey's Toe has a Discord called This Little Piggy. Oh my gosh. Mikey's left toe is famous on on YouTube. Tim Davidson says, because Monday is the day of the moon and Tuesday with an M because it's Monday. And as we know, all the best jokes are the ones that have to be explained. Yes. Northern Rebellion, how many Will Duffy lawsuits? To my knowledge, there are none at the moment. There was one that was going last year. It was, but it was somewhere September, maybe. It was dismissed by the judge, to my knowledge. Don't quote me on the specifics of that. You could look it up. But yeah, so what happens is somebody in America, anybody can file a lawsuit for any reason at any time. And that doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it correct. So, yes.
Great point. Innocent till proven guilty.
Well, this isn't that would be criminal. This isn't criminal. Okay. This is civil. So civil is different to standards there. But it's essentially the same. Just because somebody filed a lawsuit doesn't mean that there's anything there. So he has lost, to my knowledge, he has lost some, and but for the most part, I think they've been dismissed. So anyway, Assy Spin says, "Is this a rectilinear lens photo?" That is from my my iPhone. So my iPhone is mostly rectilinear. But I didn't take the showing that maybe there's curve. I don't know. I haven't quantified the curvature or the barrel distortion of that lens. So
what's up with the documentary, Tim? Do you know, like, when it's coming out, and is Witsit declining to be in it?
I don't know when the documentary is coming out. And I don't know the details of whether or not Witsit will be in it. I know that he was not in the trailer for whatever reasons, some disagreements or something about the name of or the theme of things, something like that. So it's about all I know. Is Northern Rebellion 3.14? Because I thought he was up to 6, and now he's at 3.14. What happened?
He's gone round.
I know. It's amazing. Now, of course, the Bible. If you're going to go on the Bible, it's 3.00, not 3.14.
Well, potentially, I think there was one aspect of them talking about a rim. So if you include the rim, I think it would have been closer to pi.
That is one of the interpretations of it for sure, but it was not very clear. And so my point when reading that is simply that the Bible is not a science book. A science book would have been very clear about what they were talking about in those dimensions. This wasn't meant to be some sort of a scientific discussion of the size. Yeah, they weren't being specific about it. Like, hey, it was about this big. That's about it. That's all that matters. It wasn't a science book.
Okay, thank you. Do you also agree with Duffy on his position of the age, if you don't mind me asking?
No, the Earth is. Yeah, I think that to figure out how old the Earth is, you just go and you do some investigation and you see what the Earth, what the evidence says.
Okay, thank you.
What does the evidence say? How old is the Earth?
It does seem that the Earth is around 4 billion years old. It's not my particular specialty, so I would just say if you're interested in that topic, go look at the state of the art in the literature and see what the state is. So
yeah, and even current research, actually, there are people who went to the Grand Canyon, Carbon Canyon Fold, because they have a hypothesis that the folds occurred before hardening or cementation. And when they took thin section slices and looked under the petrographic microscope and the electron microscope, they found that there was no evidence of metamorphic rock or metamorphic change. So at least that they're potentially presuming that there's a new order to the folds, potentially around the other mountains in the world, rather than sedimentation, cementation, and then folding through millions of years of immense heat and pressure. It appears that it actually was deposited, folded, and then cemented.
Can I see that paper?
So
yeah, I'll drop. I think it's being peer reviewed, but it's by Andrew Snelling, PhD, John Whitmore, PhD. I'll post their findings for you guys. They present the thin manufacture and the electron microscope slides, so you guys can see.
So if I come and say the Earth is 3.5 billion years old, how are you going to debunk me and say it's 4 billion?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, any of you that claim it's 4 billion years old.
So if you heard, I said about 4 billion. So 3.8, that's about 4 billion, isn't it? Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, so what you're saying is it's bro science, basically. It's a claim.
No, not at all. Not at all. I suggested, and I maybe you didn't hear this part. What you would want to do is you want to go review the literature on the topic and get up to speed on the state of the art for what the science is saying about that topic. So it's the opposite of bro science. It's a rather well established science, and a lot of data in that topic at all. So yeah, go ahead and look it up. PhD Tony says we have zircons that are radiometrically dated to older than 4 billion years. So there you go. PhD Tony has a pretty solid background in this topic. So if you were interested, Gakushi, he would be the one that has a bit more depth in this topic than I do.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'll look at the evidence, but it just doesn't sound probable a human being could figure out what happened 4 billion years ago.
Well, I have a suggestion, Gakushi. Instead of going and reading up on the science, why don't you watch a BitChute video?
What about Rumble? Come on.
Oh yeah, or Rumble. Odyssey.
PhD Tony says we can use cosmogenic exposure age dating on the Grand Canyon to show that the erosion took place over millions of years. So, taking back Eden to your particular paper or research that you're citing there, I don't know anything about that, and I don't know anything about what Tony is talking about. But I will say that one particular thing does not refute all of the other things. It is a single data point, and you bring them together as a whole because there's a lot of data involved.
Yeah, I agree. I guess I totally agree. I guess there would be instances of one particular evidence that would disprove the other evidence. For instance, let's say if someone was taken to court, all the evidence points to him. His fingerprints are on the weapon. He has a motive. It was in his house. His blood is there. But one piece of evidence would set that man free. For instance, if he's literally not there. Right, he was on the other side of the world. Sure,
but this particular, the thing you described, though, isn't like that. The thing you described is more like, here's a piece of the glove that does not have his DNA on it. Well, okay, well, this other piece of the glove does have his DNA on it. So which do you take? Well, you take it as a whole and you say, well, we found some DNA in his glove that does match him. This other part doesn't. Fine. What about these other things? Well, he's got blood. He's got this. He's got DNA. He's got those. And he was president. He was, proximate to the location where it happened. So.
Yeah. I guess like the TFE would almost be like that one evidence, right? Like that he wasn't there or he was there.
TFE is one of an entire long list of evidences of the shape of the Earth being a globe. Geodetic surveying, long-range navigation. We did 16 experiments. We did 14 while we were there. We listed 16, but couldn't do 2 of them because of weather and technical issues. So yeah, I measured the length of a line of longitude in Punta Arenas, in Santiago, and in Antarctica. They didn't work for flat Earth. They completely matched the globe. I measured the elevation of the sun, presuming flat Earth, at local solar noon in Punta Arenas and at local solar midnight in Antarctica. Does not match flat Earth. Did match the globe. I measured the magnetic field strength of the Earth in Santiago, Punta Arenas, and Antarctica. Matched the prediction of the globe, contradicted the necessary measurements for flat Earth. So it was, many different things that we did on the trip, but many other things that have happened over the last 2 millennia.
And South Pole Station's been occupied. All the other stations have been occupied for years and years on end. ALE's been operating in there for years and years on end. So actually the TFE experiment, or the trip, wasn't exactly earth-shattering discovery. It was demonstration to the deniers.
Yeah. So yeah, the flat Earth community that has, for the last 175 years, primarily said that made claims about what happens in Antarctica, and so we said, well, let's go grab a couple of them and have them look for themselves. So. And of course,
they keep saying, "Oh yeah, have you been there? Have you been there?" It was like a double dog dare you. Okay, let's go. I've been there.
Yeah. Even more to the point, it's since prior to the 1900, people have documented the 24-hour sun there. Lady Blunt mentioned it. A flat earther, circa 1900s, mentioned that there had been people identifying that there was a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, and she agreed that it existed. 125 years ago, flat earthers said that the 24-hour sun existed in Antarctica, but it went into remission for then the next 115 years. There wasn't a lot, but in the last 10 years on YouTube, flat earthers have said there is no 24-hour sun, they've said. So there we go. We went and tested it. Turns out they were wrong.
And Weiss and a couple others, they affirmed if there is, that's a flat Earth killer.
Yeah, they agreed.
Incorrect. You keep saying that. That's incorrect.
No, it's in video of him saying those precise words.
It does not work on flat Earth.
Gleason's map. Okay.
That's not what Weiss said.
That's not what he said. That's not what he said. We have a quote. It's in video. It's been shown many, many times.
Right.
Okay, so what do you think the older humans thought the Earth was flat then 2,000 years ago?
They said that the sun went underneath the Earth or through a portal or in a tunnel underneath the Earth. They said that it was a universal night for everybody, which is completely opposite of what the current robotomist groups say today.
And absent technology, cut them some slack.
Yeah, they were unable to travel farther than their feet or an animal's feet could bring them, other than the mariners. So they didn't know that people existed in different time zones. The concept of a time zone even didn't exist until fast travel started existing.
I did find the first official U.S. first official photo accepted or acknowledged by U.S. Congress.
There you go.
1910. Yeah.
Nice.
Fishbowl, Dave Weiss is not really a good example of the flat Earth, right?
Oh, it's the no true Scotsman fallacy again. Who is the true flat earther?
Maybe we have to start an organization, not Flat Earth Society, but maybe another one.
Call it Flat Earth Society 2.
I wouldn't say the flat Earth is a true flat earther. What it is that guy is just, there's just too many hypocrisy with that guy. So
yeah, but he's par for the course. That's the thing. He's par for the course for flat earthers.
Well, for now, what it got turned into. So if you turn the clock back to before any of them are involved, so-called FE, were actually just pretty much run-of-the-mill conspiracy guys trying to find certain things, and they stumbled upon reading room documents talking about the things like Operation Dominique. They looked into that. Of course, already believed the moon landings were fake. Notice certain things that nobody ever wants to tackle, like obvious harness grabs from the ISS and stuff where there's a wire and it's like, well, what is that? Simple things like that got noticed going back to 2011, 2012, and there was a lot of us that just kind of commented on that stuff. And that's what, quote unquote, flat Earth was in the beginning, because I think Jaron is the one who postulated flat Earth. We were just wondering what was going on. And then come 2016, I guess somehow it blew up, and then even more into 2020, which I didn't even discover this again until last year. And it's kind of interesting what they turned it into, because like people like Dave Weiss, just grifting. They're not honest. They shout people down. They mod QE. All those people, like they are some toxic individuals. I don't even know how it became that.
Jaron did not.
Racer is more reputable than Dave Weiss. Let's be honest here.
Oh my gosh, no. Jaron was not the first one to postulate. Mark Sargent predated him, and Dubé predated him. So Jaron Jaron remembers clearly that Mark Sargent was talking about flat Earth before Jaron did, but by just a few days. I have the list actually. Hold on. I think I have I have specific dates and links to some videos. So let me
you phoned up an Australian guy or a British guy on your show.
Who is Mark Sargent? I'm not, and I mean I've seen pictures of Eric Dubé, but I've never read his.
The original flat earther.
Stuff.
No.
Is that what that is?
No. The original flat earther is Samuel Rowbottom. Everybody since then has been a Rowbottomist. And on the internet, Dubé gets credit for being one of the first ones, but he wasn't the first one. Before him was Mark Braun, who calls himself Satan. Before him was Mike Lewis. He called himself, his channel was called Stars Are Souls. I have his book.
No one knows who these people are, though.
I do. He was on with Patricia Steer 2 or 3 times on her Flat Earth and Hot Potatoes podcast. Michael Lewis was.
To be fair, Kikuchi, do you actually know who like Elvis Presley was?
Of course.
I'm not 100% sure. All right.
No, but he's saying the internet, like nobody knows these people, whereas like Mark Sargent and Dave Weiss and all these guys, everybody knows. But
all right,
I guess maybe how long are we talking about? 30 years ago?
No, I just posted the link. Mark Braun was March of 2014. Eric Dubé was November 15. He posted about it on his blog. That was before he posted a video on it. Jaron Campanella now I got this one wrong. The date is wrong on this one. February 8 of 2015. It was actually a couple days later. The one from February 8 was actually a moon landing thing that he was talking about. Mark Sargent was February 10. So Mark beat Jaron by a couple days. And then Rob Skiba came in April of 2015. So there you go. I've done some research. You're welcome to back it up, look it up, see if I'm right or wrong, and expand on this particular page if you want. It is a Wikipedia site. You can create your account and amend the page if it's wrong. So.
All right, now I have a question concerning that. Since you've done that research to see the big names, and when they first posted about flat Earth, I'm curious when were the dates that Obama mentioned it, and why is that never brought up? He gave more credibility to it than anything else.
He was mocking them, of course. He said, "We don't have time to wait for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society." So it was a phrase that he had used. I don't think he invented that. Just
it was at the press corps. Come on.
Yeah. So that was more like, I don't know if you've read Tolkien's telling of how the Ents did their greetings at the Entmoot. It's much more drawn out than in the movies, in fact. And I think I kind of see parallels between that. He wanted, Obama was talking about, he wanted something, whatever it was, to happen more quickly than just kind of wandering around and making, not getting stuff done. So yeah, it was a joke. It wasn't something that he thought. And also, because flat earthers don't get this either, the glass ceiling that Hillary was talking about was the glass ceiling of women being in certain positions of power. That's what she was talking about. Not the dome.
Oh, somebody ever referenced, did somebody try to say she was talking about a firmament when she referenced the glass ceiling?
They claim that all the time.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So what has Mark Sargent say about your trip? Does he believe there's a 24-hour sun now? Or?
Mark Sargent does agree that we went on the trip, but he does agree that the 24-hour sun exists. And his position is, nuh-uh, it doesn't matter. Earth's still flat, with no evidence for it. Hey, have you heard about this thing? Like, he just deflects instantly. He doesn't want to talk about it.
He's a Hanvey fan.
He does, yeah. He does think that Hanvey has something. Of course, Mark doesn't want to address the concept of whether or not the sun was reflected or not. It was not reflected. So
he's agnostic.
No. Mark is a grifter, 100% top to bottom grifter. He doesn't care. He wants to be. If you go watch the movie Truman Show, he thinks he's Truman. He totally thinks he's Truman in the Truman Show, that he is the main character in the movie of the world, and nobody else is real. He's the only one that matters. Everybody else is playing a part, and he is the main character in the whole world.
But he's widely traveled. I mean, he's like flown to Australia, I think, right? Yep. So that kind of, he knows.
What if a flat earther sold globes? Would he be a grifter if he sold expensive globes, like $100,000 globes?
I don't know if that has anything to do with anything. Okay, we're way off track though. Here's the thing. We're 2 hours into this, and at the beginning I said no flat earther has evidence for flat Earth, and 2 hours later, no flat earther has evidence for flat Earth. It's like I was making a prophecy back then. Right? What do you think, guys? What do you think, Flatties? Am I onto something? Like Flatties, do you know the Old Testament punishment for a prophet that gets it wrong? Did anybody know?
Yeah. So be very careful with that, McToon. That's all my. Take your advice for sure.
What you didn't answer the question. What is the Old Testament punishment for a prophet that gets a prophecy wrong?
They stoned to death, right?
That's right.
Hey, you know what happens to a priest who falls asleep on watch?
I don't.
This is actually really cool. So they'll take the embers from the fire and they put it in a little pan, and they come and they spread it around him and warm him up so he gets all nice and cozy, and the fire creeps in on his garments and he burns to death.
Wow. Okay. I don't know how that is.
Old Testament is not really Christianity, though. Let's be honest.
Don't fall asleep on watch either.
All right. So, does any other flat earthers here wish to be the next one to step forward and have no evidence for a flat Earth? Thank you. Thank you so much for that white flag. The silence equals white flag. I appreciate that.
So, what evidence would you like? Would you like high altitude footage showing lack of curve?
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely.
Okay. Well, if I find some that you guys will agree with, I'll post it with you guys. I don't have it
so
right now.
let me give you this ahead of time so you don't.
Okay.
Right. The full video would be very nice. And if you don't have the full video, the documentation of the lens and the elevation.
Definitely.
Right? And if
everything.
if it's just a cherry-picked section from the little piggy cam, we'll just mock you. And we can tell the little piggy cam because it's got that line going from the lower left to the center. If there's a handful of others, I've seen them all, where they just cherry pick a little section of it. And we know which ones. Let me just tell you, we know which ones are which. We've seen them all. They're always cherry picked.
Well, I have a question. Why do you think Christopher Farms, who conducted that observation, why do you think he made his videos private, all except the fall?
I have no idea why. I would love to get the full video, but I did see the I do have a copy of After the Balloon Popped showing that it is a dramatic barrel distortion video. So that's definitely not the one you'd want to pull up. I did save his video before he made it private. I downloaded it. Downloaded the full?
Only the apogee. No, on my previous computer I had everything, the ascent, every stage. It was like 3 hours, I think. But the only video that it was formatted and whatnot, and I didn't transfer it. The only file that I have is the apogee. It's a 17-minute.
Dude, post that
to the fall.
Post that.
Oh yeah, I'll post it, but it's not something you guys are going to accept.
No, go get. I'd love to get more of it because I think you'll agree that's not good evidence either way. Right?
Yeah. I definitely think we should have another rocket go up and try and hit the dome. Or actually, McTinn, what I was planning on doing, I'm going to go to Ivy League social media, their rocket division, and have them. I'm going to post a challenge to have these university Ivy Leagues set a challenge. Who's going to be the first school to have an uncut video from Earth to far enough away, 20,000 miles, for example? I think someone's going to do it.
To 20,000 miles. So the problem with 20,000 miles, do you know the problem with that? Can you?
I've heard it before, but if you want to share your opinion, please.
Yeah. So in order to go beyond, if you're going to go to the moon or you're going to go to some farther orbit, you go into low Earth orbit, not orbit. If you're going to go farther out, 20,000 miles is pretty far. So if you're going to go that far out, typically you go to a low orbit. Then you do some staging, and then you have a different portion of the rocket that does the next burn. So typically, though, the portion that is now exposed to space was not exposed to space on ascent. So there's technical challenges because there's no way to have a camera that will be uncut from the ground up to space because it's inside of a protective shell while it's going up, and then that shell falls away, and then the unprotected portion is what goes off into some farther orbit or some other location in the solar system.
Yeah, I definitely see that problem with stages. Yeah. Do you think they could have... Okay, go ahead, Shubil. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, it takes many days to get to those high orbits because they go into the low Earth orbit and then they raise the apogee in stages, and it takes them a while to get out there. So you'd be looking like a whole week's worth of video to satisfy what? So there has to be some sort of economic or academic value to this, not just I want it.
No, but that's doable with today's technology.
But why would
if a rocket's already
fund it? Fund it.
Yeah.
Yeah, convince somebody, write the justification, get it funded. Yeah, you could, take that route.
Funded? That's your argument? Funded?
No. We all we have to do is propose it to the Ivy Leagues, Harvard or Yale, and see and have them race. Who's going to be the Ivy League to do it?
Why would they? Why would they care?
Katy Perry went to space, and Jeff Bezos funded it, and you're telling me they don't have money for the camera?
It's not about having money for the camera. You're demanding. This is your. Like I stated earlier, how to talk to a science denier. This is your. I didn't save the bookmark. What was I thinking? Oh, no, I did. I'm sorry. Setting impossible expectations for what science can achieve is what you're doing there. So why arbitrarily have you chosen that it must go to 20,000 kilometers? Because it's an impossibly high expectation, something that you don't need to worry about. And of course, if it happens, then you can just move the goalpost.
No, it shouldn't. I'm not saying it's 20,000 miles is arbitrary. Yes, I'll agree. Whatever the distance is required, I think according to Google, if you just zoom out, I think it started to around 18,000. You get to see space, and then you see the ball and the circle in space.
What do you mean you get to see space?
You see the blackness of space around the globe.
You don't see that. No, you see that at 100,000 feet.
No, you don't know. I'm talking about the full circle, not curve.
The full circle?
Yes.
Well, if you get a wide enough lens, you can get a full circle at ground level.
No, we're talking about a rectilinear lens from far enough away. Yeah.
Yeah. So all you need is a lens that has 180 degrees at the ground level, and you'll get a circle. You'll get a limited number of miles.
Yeah, we want to see. Here, I'll post an image of what I'm talking about, so you guys.
Right, you already have a rectilinear lens showing horizon curvature, but you want to see the entire horizon all around in a rectilinear lens.
This video does not exist showing an uncut from Earth, the surface. Yeah. So I'm just saying, it doesn't. Maybe an Ivy League or maybe a private firm is going to
also
this.
Maybe you could go to Flat Earth Millionaire, who's a Satanist, by the way, and say, hey, could you fund a flat Earth rocket going all the way up so that you can see the entire flat Earth from some elevation? That's the same thing, right? If you're going to require that particular standard of evidence, you should require it for yourself and not be a hypocrite.
No, it's not about. I'm not being a hypocrite. I'm just saying, from our point of view, not all flat earthers agree, right? There's some infinite flat earthers I disagree with. There's Flat Earth Society. I'm sure you've seen them out there, but in a biblical flat Earth with a firmament, you can't get beyond the firmament.
Easy then.
We're here because the Creator wants us here. There's no running. The Creator put us in.
So you don't need to get Dave Weiss's turds floating outside the Antarctic ring. All you need is then to have your standard of evidence consistent. You must require for flat Earth a single rectilinear photo of the entirety of flat Earth with the ring all the way around the outside. That's your standard. If you don't require that for flat Earth, then it's hypocritical for you to require that for the globe.
No, I don't require it. I'm just saying it's a brute fact. You guys don't have that. I would like to see that for the flat Earth. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's a brute fact that you don't have that for flat Earth also. That's the thing. It's a dual standard. It's a dual standard of evidence, right? So if you're going to require that, then you should first require it for flat Earth.
That's a straw man. I'm just saying it doesn't exist.
It's not a straw man. I'm just saying it doesn't exist for flat Earth.
No, I agree it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I agree it doesn't exist for the globe. It doesn't exist for either, so it doesn't matter at all, does it? It's completely irrelevant.
I think it does matter.
Now I think it does matter. It does matter for flat Earth. This is science. It's necessary for flat Earth. This is science. See what I'm doing there? It doesn't matter. I'm showing the ridiculousness of your position.
No, it's just actually showing that you're insecure and you're trying to divert a red herring. This is typical.
So you're saying that your position is a red herring because this is your position. Your position is the red herring that it must be 20,000 miles.
You know what it is? This is just a self-defense mechanism because
it's just a flat Earth self-defense mechanism that you don't have any evidence for it that matches your standard of evidence. So it's a self-defense mechanism to demand somebody else provide the same standard of evidence that you won't give to yourself. That's defense mechanism. I get it.
It's a brute fact.
It's a brute fact. I would like to see it. But flat Earth doesn't have a single photo, dome to dome, edge to edge, ice wall to ice wall. You don't have it. That's just a brute fact, right? And it's a red herring that you don't have it. And it's it's science. It's just science. You don't have it.
Some circumstantial evidence of the firmament, and I can provide some video evidence of the so-called Antarctic ledge, but we don't have a full uncut. Yes, you're right. I'll agree to that. I concede, but let's not drift away from the point that I mentioned.
I demand that you have a full uncut video of the entirety of the firmament dome around the perimeter in one uncut video. Go ahead. You got that? Okay. Don't have it? Oh no, it's just science. It's just science. Which one's going to be first? You should have it. You should have it. It should just be science. What we do have though, Eden, is we do have photos of the Earth from the moon. taken in 1968. We do have photos of the Earth from high elevation showing the entirety of the Earth.
No one is arguing the evidence for the globe. You guys have all the evidence. I'm just saying, well, except one. You guys don't have the uncut.
Oh, there's not just one. There's many. No, there's many things we don't have. We don't have a photo.
Eden, one at a time.
We don't have a photo of the Earth from the Lagrange point on the opposite side of the sun. We don't have that either. Does that mean anything? It does not. Not at all. The people that are sending things to space, the very last thing on their mind is whether or not the Earth is a globe or flat, because their job relies on them successfully putting things into space and not solving or answering the question whether or not the Earth is flat or a globe, because it's an absolute necessity that the Earth be a globe every single day that they go into work.
We got it. Okay, how about this? You had your chance. Everybody in the room, I guess you guys are, let's say if Harvard produces this video that I mentioned, I guess nobody here is going to watch it.
I've already looked at, say, Discover Epic and saw the entire circle of the Earth from a rectilinear camera from 1 million miles away. I think we have that.
Yeah, we're covered. We've got it.
Oh, but it's not an uncut from Earth to far enough away, is it?
Arbitrary, it must be uncut. Yeah. That's
okay, I gotcha.
That's item. I'll just review one more time. How to talk. It's just a distraction. You're right. It is just a distraction. Item number 5 of science deniers is setting impossible. Hold on. Setting an impossible expectation for what science can achieve. So you've set.
It's impossible. Did you guys hear that? Everyone, McToon said it's impossible.
It's an impossible expectation. Don't miss that word. Impossible expectation.
It's an impossible expectation according to McToon. Everybody write it down.
There you go.
We all got it, because the reason it's an impossible expectation is because nobody who already knows the Earth is a globe is going to ever decide to do for flat earthers the uncut week-long footage.
Because if you won't accept the existing evidence, then you won't accept that as well. Right. And you are just the one flat earther that has that as their necessary evidence. Now, a year ago, maybe a little more than a year ago, Mark Sargent, the most well-known flat earther that's still a flat earther, said that if you want to prove that the Earth is a globe to him, take a photo of the Earth from high elevation, put that up on a screen, hold a straight edge up to the screen, and if there's a curve, he'll quit flat Earth. I have over 30 times of him saying that. So there's his very clear standard of evidence, just like your very clear standard of evidence here. I did exactly that, and did he quit flat Earth as he promised 38 times? He did not. He did not. That's a goalpost shift, and we know you'll do the same thing because you already don't accept the photos of Earth that's right now that Shuba just posted from 1 million miles away. So you're not going to accept it from 20,000 miles away. Rossi says,
sorry about that, Omni.
Rossi's wondering what video frame rate do you need?
12K, 120 frames a second.
Wow. Yeah, there you go. Item 5 of Science Denier.
Just kidding. No, anything will suffice as long as it's unaltered, legitimate. That's why I would trust.
How are you going to qualify that?
Well, just like what any investigative journalist would do, try to reach out to the team. There's a lot of people that do this on Flat Earth. They actually contact NASA employees, etc. That's how some people suspect they found. What is that one? The one telescope, the Hubble on Sophia, rather than floating in space.
Yeah.
Well, they both exist.
I heard that phone call. They're two separate telescopes.
Yeah, that's probably true. I'll concede on that, all aspects of where I'm wrong.
All right, Jack Fetter says. Just a second here, Shubel. Jack Fetter says, I just watched Jaron balk at the moon landing. No more kudos for him, accepting no globe Earth. He's a conspiracy theorist deep down, a science denier. Oh, Jaron. Gonna have to call him up. Penguin J says I just bought some containers, so Earth flat. Trevor Lindstamer says, what? Wait, a flurfer has a ruler? Going back to Tank here. No Tank. Is he no Tank or is he Tank? Is he a professional wrestler that goes by Tank? Is he all neck?
I did ask him about that. I think it was no thanks was initially. I forgot, but yeah, it's not about tanks, I don't think.
Weird pronunciation. Atomic Aerials says, ask him why every shot of Project Fishbowl exploded at different altitudes. Drastically different. I'ma email you the declassified paper. Thank you, Atomic Aerials. I mean, I gotta say, Eden, your Fishbowl stuff did not go well for you. Just maybe loop back around and put together something a little more coherent.
At least he tried. Most of them didn't try anything.
And I do appreciate that. It's a good. You put in some effort, a little. Icy Spin says, can you ask how the sun is due south in Antarctica? That's a great question. Anybody, any flat earther, how is it that when I was in Antarctica, I saw the sun due south? How does that work? Right? Oh, hold on. We got Geek UK says, why can't I get this to post? Here, I'll make you. You have to be a moderator to post a link. So there you go. Made that Geek UK. But it's an Imager link. You can post it now. So yeah, the crickets have taken over. Actually, when I ask a question for flat earthers and they don't answer, all I hear is the ringing in my ears from all the heavy metal concerts I've gone to. Lord of Luminous Poos
I got a couple.
Says Newton.
I was just trying to be polite.
Oh, you have some map? You have an explanation for seeing the sun due south in Antarctica?
Oh no, I have some questions.
That was my
trying...
question to flat earthers here.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah. I thought you were still taking questions. I got you.
I was never taking questions. I was always here to highlight that flat earthers have no evidence for flat Earth, and I'm over 2 hours into it.
I'm sorry. I just see the title.
Yeah.
I don't watch your show. I just see the title up at the top that says McToon takes questions or comments.
Oh well, yeah. I think that's what Omni did. But let me read a couple more of these, and then tell you what. I'll field some questions.
Thank you, McToon.
Yeah. We'll go, but Eden, you've kind of dominated, so I'm going to go to others if you don't mind.
I'm gonna mute. Yeah,
right.
Thank you.
Lord Illuminous Pooh says Newton invented calculus during the pandemic before last. How bored do you have to be to invent calculus? What was it really during a pandemic? Swords Edge 444 says verbal equivalence, verbal equivalent of throwing pasta at the wall. There you go. Just chucking stuff out there. Earthly Skeptic says that flat earth conversation I reported at the start is apparently one where the user Peter Suzuki is educating flurfs, pointing out mistakes. Still on. I'm not certain what you're talking about. A user Peter Suzuki. I don't know. All right. You got some, there's more super chats to come, but you got a couple questions here. I'll field a couple questions. What are you, Eli?
Yeah. Because you were just Eli's fine. So, you were postulating that there's no evidence, right? And I was just sitting here pondering some things. And one of the things I heard earlier today, curious, what say you about it? The Red Bull guy goes up in a balloon, took him like 2 hours to get to altitude. And in the 2 hours of flight time, the rotation from the Earth would have shifted, I think, some like 2,000 miles from its original position. So how does he come down right back in the same spot? How does he leave the land, inner atmosphere, float up for 2 hours, and then stay in perfect rotational lockstep with the Earth the entire time?
Just a second here. Oh, my nose. Okay. So the tangential velocity of the balloon when it left the surface of the Earth was the same as the tangential velocity of the surface of the Earth. So was
yes, I agree. I would agree, but that's a straight line, right? It's not a rotation.
Just a second, I'll let you know when I'm done. So then also the air is generally in about the same movement of the surface of the Earth. Winds that are 100 miles an hour are rather strong when the surface of the Earth is moving significantly more than that. So in the general case, air is mostly with the surface of the Earth. And if you look at the law of viscosity, you'll see that there is a non-zero force applied on fluids that are moving in the vicinity of a moving object, right? So anyway, so that the air is generally moving along with the Earth. Of course, winds exist. So the tangential velocity of the balloon did not go to zero when it left the Earth. It remained. So it went up, keeping that same tangential velocity and just being blown about by the wind, and then it came down. And similarly, it just kept the same tangential velocity for the most part. So that's how it happens. Conservation momentum exists.
It would have been about 5 miles an hour. Without any influence from the air, due to the increased radius.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then, of course, when he came back down, though, then that the radius reduces again. And so the tangential velocity, it actually tends to even out. But the wind is a bigger factor than that tangential velocity variation. So there you go. Glad to help. Any other, Eli?
Oh, yeah, maybe in a little bit. You can continue reading.
Oh, all right.
Well, I like to think before I just fire off now.
Okay, all right. What is it? Rossi retracted a message. What was that about, Rossi? Hold on a second. I think I can actually pull up the message and see it. I've been working on some stuff that captures these things. Is it there? We'll see. Oh yeah, I got it, Rossi. You can retract it. I still got it. He said, "Is Dick Wayne the love child of Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson?" Oh my gosh.
Why would you retract that? I like it.
I don't know. Is that the yeah? In the life says, is he willing to see the 24-hour sun? Is he willing? I don't know. Is anybody willing to see the 24-hour sun? I mean, you can go.
You paying?
Well, no, but if anybody's interested, like I self-funded. I did a GoFundMe. People supported me, and I was able to go. So obviously it would take a community effort if flat earthers were actually interested. There is one Roger Ledwell that is saying that he's going and that he's getting funding. I hope he gets to go, but so far the funding isn't looking great. He says that there's somebody that's going to make up the difference if he doesn't get all of it, but I don't know if that's really true or not. That'd be great if he did. So,
Joe Hanvey should make up the difference.
Joe Hanvey should. The thing is that there are some flat earthers that say they have money. There's quite a few that are like, I got so much money. There's some guy on Twitter who's always bragging about how much, cryptocurrency he has. Of course, there's the Satanic Tanner Stewart that says that he's a millionaire. He calls himself Flat Earth Millionaire. He could certainly fund a few people to go. There's a guy in England I know that has some money. They could all just, yeah. There would be, if any flat earthers were actually curious, they could shake some trees and make it happen. So The Copium Emporium says Dick is in the chat. Will he melt? I suspect he will melt. Oh. Looks like that.
Fingers are burning.
Wow. All right. I have I have an app that I'm writing, and it's it just I found a bug in it. So let's see. NA says, "Hey NASA, let's do something stupid. To please some flat earther." Yeah, that checks out. That's it. Like in order to put a camera on the outside of a rocket that will remain with the actual rocket until it's at some very far distance from the Earth, it would have to be sticking out of the shroud when it's on the ground. And of course, flat earthers vary between needing it to point up and needing it to point down. So you'd have to have two of them, one pointing up and one pointing down simultaneously. Uncut, probably have to live stream it as well, because that's going to be the next goalpost move. So, right. And then
you have to have cameras monitoring the other cameras.
Yeah, probably a second rocket filming the first rocket.
Right.
Happened. So that's what has to happen. And in fact, when we were in Antarctica, we joked about that because we had cameras recording cameras. We had two Insta360s right next to each other, monitoring each other. Will brought two of them. Two Insta360s.
That's the one I was looking for.
So,
and people still say it's fake.
Yeah, there's multiple cameras simultaneously tracking with, showing all sorts of different angles. So, and there's some that have not yet been published. So it's kind of
I don't think that's enough cameras.
I waited to do stuff. I'm done waiting, but I can't publish things fast enough. I have a full-time job and a life, and I coach ultimate frisbee and all that stuff. So I'm busy. So publishing all the stuff takes time, and I'm not super fast. But anyway, things are coming, and I've kind of waited for flat earthers to sort themselves out and decide on the lies that they're going to commit to. So Shoebill posted a vid camera recording of a vid camera recording a still camera photographing the sun. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Let's see. Jack Fetter says, not a single person on the rocketry team thinks the globe Earth needs proof. Why would they even spend a single minute on this experiment? It's a great question. Who in the planning meeting, like, hey, let's spend an unknown amount of extra money. Let's just kick it around here in the meeting. How about we have a video camera that's uncut that goes from ground up to 20,000 miles? They're in the meeting, and somebody proposes that, and everybody else in the meeting looks at that person and says, why the hell would we do that? Like, to prove that the Earth is a globe. People say, but we know the Earth is a globe. We are putting this in orbit around the globe and then going off into somewhere else in the solar system. But taking back Eden FE on Discord, that's his standard of evidence. And he will accept that totally. And everybody else in the meeting is like, shut up. Because it's dumb. Okay. Borg Emporia says, what do you think of Fight the Flat Earth character 7 of 12 on Star Trek Endurance? If you have not seen it, watch it for FTFE. I've not seen it. Everybody, even flatties, go watch FTFE's Star Trek Endurance role playing that he's doing. Is that on Fridays, right? Astrocate. Listen to this, flatties. My contacts at NASA tell me the Earth is a globe. Well, there you go. And one more, then Eli, I'll be looking. I got another fielding of a question for you after this one. Rossi says, I had second thoughts about elevating a chat troll in the audio feed. That's why I retracted. Oh, I got it. It's okay. It's okay. We can elevate the troll. All right. Eli, any other questions?
You got bad timing, homie. I'm doing something.
Oh my gosh. I hope that what you're doing is a number 2 and not a something that's got vinegar strokes.
There's a
Not a number. Yeah, it's a number 420.
Oh, it's a whole different thing. Okay. Sorry, I'm completely out of that loop. Okay, so I love this one. This I know by looking at it. This is from Dwayne Cullum. This is number 21, I believe. I See Stars is the subtitle for this video that Zep Tepe has posted. And you can see here at ground level 29.88 inches of mercury. That's a pressure measurement. And that's at ground level. Then at elevation, which is 36,000 meters or 119,000 feet, it is 0.15 inches of mercury. So there is a pressure differential, and there is no barrier between them, no container between them. And so we have seen that you can have pressure without a container, because this is the actual claim of the globe, that there is just a pressure differential, and that pressure continues to decrease with increasing elevation. That's what we claim, and that's what's been shown here by a flat earther in their own video. I love that. And by the way, taking back Eden, the tightrope, what you call Project Fishbowl explosion was at 21 kilometers. This balloon is at 36.5 kilometers elevation. So certainly that's not the dome firmament there.
Great point. Yep. If there was a firmament, let's say, I guess they could go to different places within this flat Earth, and the height or the ceiling would vary, supposedly. I don't know that for sure. It could be a box, but I doubt it.
Or could just not exist at all, because you can send radar up and it doesn't bounce. It doesn't bounce. Right, if there's a dome firmament there that a rocket couldn't get through, which of course rockets have, but if a rocket couldn't get through it, then certainly radar wouldn't. Right.
And in that fishbowl, what was the apogee of the vehicle that carried it? Because as is documented, the detonation was on descent. So we have the apogee of the vehicle.
Yeah, but no video of that particular launch. Or
that was your claim. That was your evidence.
Oh no, but Shoe Bill's referring to one that's even higher. I think 1,000 miles.
The apogee of the missile.
I think he's talking about these, like the Bluegill Prime that failed.
No, Fishbowl had 1,000-kilometer rocket
as well. Yeah, that's what they claim. There was one that, and Shoe Bill is saying that it actually went beyond, if I'm not mistaken, beyond 1,000, and it exploded on its trajectory
and
down.
You don't accept that one, which is let's see, item number 1 of the traits of a science denier, cherry picking evidence.
Right. When do we trust the government, and then when do we stop trusting them?
Yeah. Whenever it fits is when you trust, and when it doesn't fit, you don't trust. Is that how it works?
No. It's not
no,
all or
I'm
nothing. That's a fallacy.
Okay.
All or nothing fallacy. Maybe
All
you
right.
guys should look it up.
Eli's got something here. You done with that? What you're doing before?
Oh, I was just going to pipe up and say, never, ever trust the government. I comply with government, believing compliance with laws up until the point where they start dictating my beliefs in God. But I'd never trust them.
But taking back Eden trusts the government when it matches his pre-selected conclusion. Right?
It's not an all or nothing fallacy. Did you know that rat poison includes 90% truth, 10% poison? Just enough to kill.
That makes no sense at all.
Well, some people get it. It's okay.
Rat poison is often just warfarin, which is a medicine.
Right? I didn't know that.
If people that have heart conditions, heart transplants, things like that, they take warfarin in small doses, and when you take it in large doses, it causes internal bleeding, and that's how rats die when they eat lots of it. There's other rat poisons than just warfarin, but that's one of them.
Well, thank you. I didn't know. It's interesting.
All right. Northern Rebellion was asked by Nico, have you spoken with MC2? And Northern Rebellion says yes. I don't recall Northern Rebellion that. Oh, he McQuit, he says. Oh, precious. Well, maybe we could clear it out and he could come in here and bring forth the flat earth evidence and be the one. He could be Neo for all of you. It's been 2.5 hours of no flat earth evidence, and Northern Rebellion could be Neo, the one that brings it. Or not.
So I'm genuinely curious how it got here. It says somebody I explained my position on it to the point where there were followings. When did that come about?
What do you mean followings? I don't know what you mean.
Because, like I said in the beginning, it was just we didn't follow anybody. It was a group of people who were conspiracy theorists who talked amongst each other and just came across stuff, and we questioned things. When did it turn into YouTube followings and monetization? When did that happen?
2015. Yeah, 2015. Mark Sargent, Dubé, Jaron, those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Jaron talks about it. He's like, yeah, it used to be like you do a video and you get a bunch of money on it. Like he would pre-record videos, right? And then in 2018, all that dried up. And so, right, he had it. He's like, it was sweet then. And then everything changed. So that's when. Let's see. Rubik's Uber says, since we're fielding questions, MC2, I'm curious to hear your estimate as to what percentage of the world believes in flat Earth, assuming U.S. population. Well, let's go. I can speak to the U.S. I'll speak to that because, or maybe the English-speaking countries. It's maybe, I don't know, maybe 1% at the most. Because most people understand geometry well enough to know that flat Earth is impossible. And so it takes somebody that really doesn't understand geometry in order to accept robotomism. And that's why, if you remember, before 175 years ago, there was about a 2,000-year gap of nobody thinking the Earth was a flat, with a few stragglers. And so those ancient cultures that thought the Earth was flat wrote about the sun going down at night, somehow going through a portal or underneath underneath some flatness through a tunnel, riding on a boat on a river or taking a chariot or something like that, everybody having universal night. And when they figured out that universal night wasn't a thing, then the very basic understanding of geometry said, well, it can't be flat. So, let's see. Taking Back Eden says the Carsey School of Public Policy found that about 10% of U.S. adults agreed with the claim that the Earth is flat, grouping it with other conspiracy beliefs such as moon landing being faked and COVID-19 containing tracking microchips. So dumb. Earlier polls like 2018, approximately 2% firmly believe the Earth is flat. So, yeah. I'm going to press X to doubt on that, but if you post those studies, I'd be interested to look at them. But as I said, flat Earth falls apart instantly when you just ask, what angle will the sun set? What time will the sun set? How far away does the sun need to be to set? Why does the moon not change in angular size if it's local? Or why does it change in angular size by a very, very small amount? There you go. Thank you for that link, Eden. I'll keep that and look at it. I'll have to look at it after. All of these things that I listed there, no flat earther has ever identified. Every single one of those things, however, is answered using the globe geometry very well. Right? Simple. What time will the sun set? So if you go get Flat Earth Dave's app, he has in the upper right-hand corner the time that the sun will set for your location. He uses a third-party service to answer that question. That third-party service uses the globe to do it. Flat Earth Dave's app has a group meetup feature where you can say, hey, I want to find out anytime there's a meetup within a 100-mile radius of where I live. How does it determine if you're within a 100-mile radius? I've seen the source code. I have a copy of it. It uses the Haversine formula, which is a spherical trigonometric function. Flat Earth Dave's own app uses the globe to determine how far you are from a meetup. Every single time a flat earther tries to find evidence for flat Earth, it doesn't work for flat Earth. So
Shane says you can use the Haversine formula on a flat Earth because it's a graticulio.
It doesn't work at all. It's just words. Just words that he says. What is this? Andreas Salarius 1660? That's nice. Yeah, I have a book right here. Came yesterday in the mail or the day before.
McToon, do you know how to read?
I do, Scoundrel. Thank you. I'm just showing this. I got this book, Air Navigation, by Herbert S. Zim, published 1942. Air Navigation, right on the cover, it's got a globe. I've leafed through it. It definitely speaks about the globe many times in it. There is no flat Earth version of this book, by the way. The Air Navigation on Flat Earth book doesn't exist. So tough day
McToon.
for... Yes, Scoon. Go ahead.
Do you know what a rolling iron is? Are you too stupid to know what a rolling iron is? It's a cooking instrument. It's a cooking instrument.
Okay.
All right. Well, don't you realize that you could take a round piece of dough and flatten it out to be flat?
Yes.
So you can make a round object and make it flat.
My wife's going to bed. You want to say goodnight to everybody?
Good night.
That's all you get, people.
Is she there?
She
Tell
is.
her hi.
Scoundrel says hi.
Does she know? Does she have a rolling iron in her hand?
Does she have a rolling iron? You mean a rolling pin? She does not.
A rolling pin.
In fact,
damn it. That's what.
If a rolling pin gets used in this house, it's usually me that uses it. Okay, she can hear you now.
Why did I call it a rolling iron this whole time?
I don't know. So I make pizza. I make pizza dough. It's what I do, and then I'll roll it flat. I don't do what we're seeing on screen right now. I cannot spin. But anyway, if you want to say hi to her, go ahead. Her name's Tina.
Hello.
Yeah, I make my own pizza dough too. It's so easy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm just gonna shut up because I feel stupid immediately. So thanks, Tina, for allowing McToon to do what he does.
Yeah, you're welcome. He's pretty entertaining.
All right.
Have a good night.
Yeah, I'll second that.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thanks. Sleep well.
Good dog.
You know what? You want Penguin in here? Come here, Penguin. Stay here. She's super excited to go.
Do you want me to get the other dog?
Yeah, you can send Donkey in. Poor Penguin wants to escape. Hold on, Penguin.
Hold him.
Donkey, come here.
Donkey, come on.
Donkey.
Come here, Donkey. He's too tired.
All right, Mr. McToon. All right, is Tina gone?
She's gone.
Let's talk about tits. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
I want to ask you a real question about, do you think you could go on a mountain in Minnesota or Wisconsin.
No,
I forget
it's
where you
not
live.
possible to go on a mountain in Minnesota.
No, let me finish. All right.
There would
I know
have
I
to
got
be a
too
mountain
excited.
here. And Mount Cato does not count as a mountain. Neither does Wild Mountain. Those are just ski areas.
Oh, so you don't think there's a point of view to where someone could have a mirror 8 miles or 8 kilometers away and do mirror flashes? Like, say you're up on a mountain and you're like, hey, I'm going to measure the speed of light. So you went up on a mountain and then you got a spindle wheel with a couple holes in it, and you got a gas lamp. Do you think you could take any instruments and then go up onto a mountain when a friend's like 8 miles or 8 kilometers away? I forget the metric, but do you think you could prove the speed of light using, I'll give you a cordless drill, a couple holes and a disc and a gas lamp and a mirror. Your friend has a mirror, so he's like flashing back. You know what I'm talking about, right?
The highest point in Minnesota
is
Damn
Eagle
it,
Mountain.
Tina.
Yeah.
You just pulled it up.
So as you were doing that, NASA Shield posted it as well. Eagle Mountain. Same Wikipedia article. 2,301 feet.
Yeah, it's almost in Michigan though.
What's the legal definition for a mountain?
Hey, it's a Minnesota mountain. Give it a break.
If an obese person can climb it,
What's that?
if they can, it's a hill.
Minnesota is 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
So that's only 1,000 feet up.
Yeah. Average elevation in Minnesota is 1,000 feet.
Yeah, it's almost in Michigan too. So okay.
All right,
McToon. The real question is, do you think you could measure the speed of light using the objects they did when they first tried to measure the speed of light?
I'm sure somebody could try to do it. I would use a more modern method to do it. But
do you think you could?
Do I think I could? Yes, if I cared.
You're the smart guy.
If I
Wouldn't
cared.
that make a good YouTube video?
If I cared.
I went up in the mountain and I measured the speed of light using a mirror 8 miles away and a gas lamp and a mirror and then like a wheel with 12 holes in it, and we spun it around.
Sounds amazing.
And then
why should
I'm not sure that was going anywhere.
Why should I care?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
all right, Scoundrel. Scoundrel is not a flatty, right?
I don't know. No idea. If you know them, let me know. I have no idea.
Well, a couple weeks ago, Scoundrel started calling me on Discord during a live stream. Like calling me on Discord. And my Discord was kept, going, somebody's calling you. I'm like, what's going on? So yeah. All right. Scoundrel, I don't care. Off topic.
Don't drink in Discord.
Just for all of you, as a special appearance, I'm here today. Not in general. It's a special appearance. I am coming here completely unmodified by mind-altering drugs. Unlike Eli, who has decided he wanted to do what he did there. How about? I'm still waiting. Maybe you know what, Omni. How about this? Maybe Northern Rebellion could put together evidence for Flat Earth. I'm sorry, I can't stop. I can't not laugh when I say those words. Anyway, could put together, try putting that together, and then bring it to. We could organize a debate right here between us, and I could do the same thing for the globe. Do you think you'd take it?
Do you think any sense difference between evidence for the flat Earth and evidence disproving the globe?
Well, yeah, flat earthers are unaware of the distinction between that, and of course the debunking the globe is always the same form. Let me just give you the form. Paraphrase. The globe predicts and then something that the globe does not predict. This observation does not match the thing that the globe does not predict, therefore flat. That is the standard method that flat earthers do almost all of the time. There's sometimes that are they try a different tactic, but that's generally it. So yeah, the flat Earth map. Icy Spin is posting the flat Earth map on spacecenter.nz. Interesting there. I think they're mocking
Kiwis.
I know. They get to see the sun rise and set south of due east and west, so that's impossible on that Dirt Pizza map. So, all right. Any feedback from Taking Back Eden not Taking Back Eden? I'm sorry, Northern Rebellion. You know, I guess when you pick a name that's not like a personal name, it makes it a little more difficult to kind of anthropomorphize your name.
My name's Personal McToon. I want to know why you're scared of the speed of light.
I'm not. It's not something I'm super interested in. Why don't you go to somebody that has a little more overlap in that topic than I do? I see you're barking up the wrong tree. Okay.
Plus, he wants to use a methodology that was used in 1851. So.
Yeah. Why not? Why use that? I don't know. I don't care. Maybe somebody else thinks it was cool. You know, there's is it Up and Atom? I think Up and Atom is a YouTube channel that's maybe a little more interested. Right? Go there. Go ask her. Icy Spin says, can they explain opposite pole star rotations? Well, that's a good question, Icy Spin. I will posit that question to the all the flat earthers present. Can you explain opposite rotating celestial poles? While you fail to answer that, I'll read the next one here. Rossi says nicotine is an insecticide. That's why tobacco makes it. Many modern insecticides are nicotine analogs. There you go, to the rat poison thing. Any answers for the counter-rotating celestial poles?
Yeah, if you're looking north and one person's looking south, you could glue a clock on your ceiling.
I have no idea. I just like sometimes trolling is funny. Sometimes LARPing as a flatty is funny. Scoon, it's not coming out that way. I don't know exactly what you're trying to do, but it's not coming out as very entertaining. It comes out a little more mocking. So I don't know. Maybe you're trying to mock. So okay. No answer from. I know there's not. We only have as what we have for flatties here. Jack Fetter says because YouTube allows morons to coagulate and dumb sticks to idiotic. That's how groups formed. There you go, Eli. There's your answer. Oh, Eli's not here. Took off. I think we're all out of flatties except for Taking Back Eden. So, and of course, Northern Rebellion in the chat here. Yeah, Northern Rebellion is not answering. Northern Rebellion, I will ask the question directly to you. Can you explain the counter-rotating celestial poles as being compatible with flat Earth in any way at all? So, okay, we got Lisa says, gasp. Are you suggesting that to us that Dirt's app actually lies to us? Where is my fainting couch? Yeah, he actually said in recent interviews, he claimed that when I say that his app uses the Haversine formula, he said that was nonsense. I have the source code. I can read source code. I'm a programmer. It's what I do, Dave. I can see the source code in your program. It's not that hard. It uses the Haversine formula. And who's E Money? What's he getting timed out for? Earth is a globe. It's just weird incel people. Why E Money? I don't know who you are. Why you're in here just stirring the pot for some reason? I don't know. Maybe you get people every once in a while. Let me say here. Wow. All right. This is a weird one here. I don't know the context here of E-money. I think it's worth saying. Stick to your typing to people and being butthurt. I know that you both are not men. I don't know who he's talking to. Probably not me because I haven't addressed him. And would never actually come have a talk. Keep troll typing. Nice use of your life. I think that's fine to leave those comments. Okay. Nothing from Northern Rebellion. Man. Taking Back Eden, do you have an answer? Can you explain the counter-rotating celestial poles? Oh yeah, Spirit Mountain's not a mountain either. I've been to Spirit Mountain. It's also a ski place. Oh my gosh. This is funny. Indio, so he goes by No One Special on X. Indio 007 says, no one uses this map. No one claims to use it, except for 175 years of flat earthers saying that's the map, including it's on the cover of Edward Hendry's book right there. Mark Sargent uses it. Flat Earth Dave uses it. Basically all the biblical flat earthers use it. Man. But Indio thinks nobody does. Anything, Eden? Nothing?
Hey, Minnesota was a nice hilly place until the glacier pounded it down.
Freaking glaciers. We could have had more skiing here.
It's like Michigan, you live in a pretty flat area of the world.
Don't use that terminology. They get all confused. Like Kansas is flatter than a pancake. They've never read the actual. First of all, it's kind of a joke publication, but they use real data, and in that very publication, they show that the Earth is a globe.
But didn't they end up that the pancake was flatter? Or?
Yes, the pancake was. Sorry, no, the pancake was not flatter. So what they found though was that, first of all, that the Earth does match the DES they use, the digital DES, I think, which is a globe ellipsoid. That it matches the ellipsoid, but the topography varies from that ellipsoid less than the topography varies up and down on a pancake. So it actually doesn't have any. It doesn't show that the Earth is flat. It shows it's about topography. So, Bauk says they use the map until you question them, then they don't. Like flirfs who use right-angle triangles in celestial navigation until you point out the consequences of such, and they deny that they used triangles. Yes, that's a bait and switch, of course. Icy Spin says best flat map ever, and it was the one with the hump in the middle. Let me see if I can find it back here in the history. Oh yeah, there you go. Look at that. How about that one? Good old Dean Odell. And this was about the Christians that are flat earthers and or not. And Greg Locke is not a flat earther, right? No matter what you think about his other topics and his opinion on them. All right. Oh, here it is. This is the one from Icy Spin. I mean, that's hilarious. If anybody thinks that's actually the case, like how does the water stick to that? Like water doesn't curve. Well, this curves. This is showing water curving. So how does this work? It goes from concave to convex. But if you think about this, if you were in Alaska, looking south from the coast, you would see the ridge of Antarctica. There's nothing in the way. It's so silly. And they actually think they're making a point when they use that. It's so silly. Still nothing from Northern Rebellion here, or Taking Back Eden. Taking Back Eden is still here. All right. Well, let me read this one more, and then I think we're getting to at the end of it here. Rossi says, I want a deck of cards with all the Catholic cardinals so my local bar can have a Pope of Hearts drawing. Oh my gosh. Well, let me say this, Omnivore, thank you for inviting me here. I hope that this server fills a void that Geo's server has left. I think that done right, this could be a fair place for flatties and globies to come together and exchange ideas. I would also like to thank all the flat earthers here that completely showed me to be right. I love being right. That flat earthers do not have evidence for flat earth. That was 2.5 hours, nearly 3 hours now of flat earthers not having evidence for a flat earth. I appreciate that.
So it was great to have you. You are, of course, welcome back whenever you want to. And for people who are coming over from MC Tunes audience, you are also welcome here. But we want to be welcoming to everybody. So
cool. I hope it works.
People can bring their friends.
And then maybe Oakley or QE could dig deep, really find what's necessary to. And there's a little shriveled up little courage bucket there, and to face me on here, a neutral platform or some other neutral platform. I think this is a fine place to do it.
I promise I would treat Nathan more fairly than he treated me.
It's not hard.
It's a low bar.
It's a low bar because generally, if he generally just offers to place his genitals into people's men's mouths.
He has a sister who's done celestial navigation, so now he's an expert.
Oakley has a sister that's done Cellnav?
Or at least knows something about it. He cited his sister as a source.
Wow. But for $10,000, he couldn't do celestial navigation. Imagine that. Okay, everybody over on Discord, thank you very much. I'm going to pop out and go over to my YouTube channel alone here, and
all right,
we'll catch y'all later.
Fantastic.
All right, we'll see you. All right, people, thank you for sticking around here, for enjoying the flat Earth evidence that doesn't exist. I mean, what? Nothing. They never have anything. It's so, we got it from them when, was it No Tanks, right? No Tanks was like, just really showed it that rather than support his position of the Earth being flat, he knew he didn't have it. So he had to go into semantics games, right? So I didn't get to really expand on it then. I'll very briefly expand on it right now. The surface of water is equipotential or equidistant from the center of the globe. And that means that if you take a stick, right? So take a stick and you put it on the surface of the water right next to you and measure its height with an auto level, and auto level points horizontally, right? And then you go farther away, the number on that stick will increase, because that's the distance from the bottom of the stick to where you're measuring, right? So if you started at 5 feet and you move out some distance, you'll be at 5 feet 1 inch. It increased. It went down, meaning that there is more stick between the ground and where that is intersecting the line of sight. So when Shoebill was basically like trapping him, he was setting up a trap. As you move farther away, it will increase more and more and more. That's what the globe predicts. That's what we observe in reality. So Why he wanted to use an auto level instead of a theodolite is telling as well. A theodolite is more precise. I have a theodolite up here, right up there, right there. That's a theodolite. It's not a super great theodolite. You can't rotate and rotate, plunge and rotate the telescope, which is a feature on better theodolites, because if the theodolite is, say, measuring up, right, if it's out of precision alignment by 2 arc seconds, and it will always measure one direction incorrectly by 2 arc seconds, right? And so you've got that scope facing one direction there. I'll use a pen. Here we go. So you can see the, is that it? That's not the best example. Here's a little better. You can maybe see the top of the pen there. So if you're looking through it here, right, this is on the top. And so what you do is you rotate it this way, and then you plunge it. And so you look through the viewfinder again, but now what was up is down and what was down is up. So if it measured 2 degrees up or 2 arc seconds up out of perfection before, now it will measure 2 degrees down. You do that twice, once in each face, and then you average them together and the error cancels. It's an amazing way to do it. You don't get to do that in a theodolite like this one because it doesn't plunge like that, or you don't get to do it with an auto level. So it's not as precise, but you will certainly, with one that's calibrated, you'll get it. If it's calibrated, you will also measure that well enough. So anyway, I am going to leave it there. I have Flurfin World. What is this? CC in the Flurfin World song. Well, not having seen that at the moment, I'm not going to play that without looking at it first. So I'll look at it, and if you want, I'll add it to my lineup here. But what I will do is I'm going to play a song on the way out. Let me grab it here. Thanks to Astrocate. Where'd it go? I'm looking for it. It's Scum. Where'd it go? There it is. Is that it? I think that's it. I was going to... Yeah, I think that's it. Anyway, how about playing the remixed Where the Guns Nathan song? I don't have that one queued up, Zoomy. I should queue that one up as well. Sorry. And as you experienced last time, I need to cue them for the audio to sound good. Anyway, so people, thank you very much. I will not be live tomorrow. We have an Ultimate Frisbee game, and it'll go late. Then Wednesday, I will be back with FTFE on his channel to do whatever he does. Like the day of Wednesday, I'm like, what are we doing tonight? He's like, oh yeah, I'll have something. So, and then Thursday late, I will be doing a TikTok. I'll be going on TikTok. I got this. This is a really nice, and I tested it with the microphone up here. You can't see it, just off screen there. That's a nice Rode microphone. This is a Rode iPhone specific cable to audio interface to the iPhone. It's high quality. It was real money. $90, $80. So anyway, everybody, thank you very much for joining, and I'll see you. We'll see you at the next one. That's not the one. Hold on. Where'd it go? Maybe this is it. Nope, that's not it. Just a second. I'm going to find it. It's, I have it queued up. I'm pretty sure I have it queued up. I just worked on it the other day. Catsoid, Mikey. It's not here. How is it not here? All right. Well, I do have both Humbly Bro songs. I'm going to have to do that one because I can't find the one that Astrocate put in. I'll get it. I'll put it in. All right, people. We'll see you next time.
Yo, it's Whitson. Gets it. Step into the mic, bro. Talking flat earth. Get ready for the hype, bro. Aced algebra in school, honors too, bro. Gravity's a lie, yeah, I'm in the zone, bro. Electrostatics, that's the real deal, bro. They say the earth's a globe, but that ain't right, bro. I'm the best flat earth debater, bro. Humbly, opposition ain't on my level, so, but let's not get too technical, bro. This is so funny. You're getting crushed, bro. I'm schooling you, bro. You are literally losing the debate, bro. You are so out of your league, bro. This is so funny. You're getting crushed, bro. I'm schooling you, bro. You are literally losing the debate, bro. You are so out of your league, bro. Our model, though, not defined in full, bro, is superior. Your model's falsified, bro. Van de Graaff generator, electrostatics amaze, bro. Made objects change weight, just a phase, bro. 100 volts per meter electric field, you know, bro. Flipped it with 400,000 volts, whoa. Small things floated, defying gravity like totally, bro. Next I'll rub a cat to a brick to show. This is so funny. You're getting crushed, bro. I'm schooling you, bro. You are literally losing the debate, bro. You are so out of your league, bro. This is so funny. You're getting crushed, bro. I'm schooling you, bro. You are literally losing the debate, bro. You are so out of your league, bro. MC Tune and Globers, you can't deny it, bro. Witsit gets it's here to testify, bro. Most times I don't remember you exist, yo. I'm the flat earth king, you better believe it so. Moon phases are like a magnetic cycle, bro. Center of a ferrocell, image magnets glow, bro. Charge up and down, etherically displaced, yo. Kinematic equivalence explains it all somehow, bro. It might sound tough, but let's skip details, yo. You might believe I have an amplitude for math, ho. It's all just a lot of salad in my words, yo. Words, yo, words, yo. This is so funny. You're getting crushed, bro. I'm schooling you, bro. You are literally losing the debate, bro. You are so out of your league, bro. This is so funny. You're getting crushed, bro. I'm schooling you, bro. You are literally losing the debate, bro. You are so out of your league, bro. And what happened is they brought in Einstein to totally save their physics redefined, to flip physics all on its head, bro. To keep Earth moving around the sun, you know. And in the magnetic torus field, I say the path of planets fits perfectly, yo. This is so funny. You're getting crushed, bro. I'm schooling you, bro. You are literally losing the debate, bro. You are so out of your league, bro. This is so funny. You're getting crushed, bro. I'm schooling you, bro. You are literally losing the debate, bro. You are so out of your league, bro. If this debate was a rap battle, I would have totally won, bro.